Guys, what's going on? Right, hold on. Let me check my settings. Hold on. You know how the Microsoft updates go. Hold on, guys. It's Sunday. You know what I mean? Here we are, guys. Here we are. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, guys, the UK is cooked. Canada's cooked. It's bad, man. It really, really, really is bad. What an absolute joke. And it's funny because this is all women's fault. Women in Canada and the UK vote for all this foolishness. What a joke. What an absolute joke. Guys, give me 1 second here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, guys, here we are, We've talked about this a couple times, guys, and it's getting bad, man. It's getting bad. Let's see. Laughing Man, how you doing? Keyshawn's here. Omni's here. OG is here. Gold Pill Wolf says he has relatives in Canada. Brent's, what's up, man? Brent's in Canada too. Yeah, guys, Canada's in trouble, man. The UK and Canada both are just cooked, and it's sad, guys. It really, really, really is sad. Guys, there was that report with the SA gangs over there. That's here. I actually have a quick slideshow that I can show you guys quick. Hold on. And guys, we'll jump back and forth between the UK and Canada. You know what I'm saying? But guys, they're both suffering from the same issues. But guys, I would say that the UK is worse, but Canada's on its way there. Canada's speed in the last 50 years is running its way to where the UK is. It's really, really, really sad. But guys, look at this. What's up, dude? Guys, look at this.
Yeah. One of the things I think too is like UK is crammed into such a small space, but Canada's stretched so far out, so some of the problems are kind of diffused a little bit, just a little bit. But we'd be the same.
Guys, look at this. Look at this. So the UK's prime minister just resigned, the 7th prime minister in 10 years. The UK now spends more on welfare than it raises from income tax. $33 billion paid out, $329 billion collected of the workers. Look at that, guys. Look at that. The UK has become the SA capital of the world. In England and Wales, police recorded 71,667 SAs in the year to March 2025. That's 200 a day. 200 a day. Look at this. The health system collapsed. Over 7 million people are waiting for treatment. 100,000 of them have been waiting for more than a year. In the emergency room, 4 out of 10 won't be seen within 4 hours.
And what's that? That's 7 million out of what? 40 million? Is it the same?
Look at that.
Sorry, 69 million. Sorry, 69 million.
Now, guys, someone did make a good point that a lot of the girls that are being SA'd are working class girls. You know what I'm saying? They're in these working class Northern England neighborhoods. That's why, this is the same as like the rich liberal white women. They don't really care about the women that are actually like being affected by the homeless and the junkies in like California and stuff. Oh no, all they care about is their gated neighborhoods. You know, look at that. So the UK arrests more people for what they say online than any country in Europe. 12,183 arrests in 2023 under offensive communication laws. That's 33 people arrested every day.
Look wow, and that's 3 years ago, and the laws have only gotten worse.
Gotten worse, yeah. Yep. Britain has banned all new oil and gas exploration in the North Sea. Meanwhile, Norway is the biggest energy supplier. They're selling Britain's North Sea gas from the side of the sea. Wow. In May alone, the UK borrowed $23.3 billion, the second highest figure ever recorded for a single month. Government debt is now 95% of the GDP. Damn. The U.S. economy grew by 15%. The UK only grew by 6%. Damn. The UK lost more millionaires than any other country place on earth. They took $66 billion in liquid wealth with them. $66 billion. Gone. Look at that. Look at that. In 2025, 246,000 British nationals left the UK. 250,000 Brits decided life was better somewhere else. That's in 1 year. Damn.
Wow.
Look at that. So before Brexit, 50% of migrants came from the European Union. In 2024, 90% came from outside the EU. This is the opposite of what the British people wanted. Damn. Oh, yeah. And now this turd's going to be in there. He's even worse. Guys, why?
Yeah.
Why would anyone live there? Why? Guys, move. Get out. You guys, you really don't need much to leave. You're better off well, anywhere. I was gonna say go to Central America. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
But the transit's good.
I know, right? Yeah. but the public transportation is so good. Please, come on. Yeah. And it's until you get stabbed on the train, you know? Come on, man. UK didn't collapse by accident. It was managed and around by people who were more concerned with not causing offense with governing a country. And it's sad that there's guys like me who live in the US that care more about the UK than people who live there do.
Well, it's the slow-boiled frog problem for all of us, right?
Yeah.
You've got a few more upsets in American life that are like, yeah, that's a meaningful line in the sand. Everywhere else, it's kind of like, oh, it's still just good enough that I'm surviving. It's still just good enough.
Yeah.
I don't know if the UK has an exit tax either. If you do decide to move out of country, I'd be interested in anyone else weighing in on that. But in Canada, they'll take 40% of your retirement savings if you decide to leave.
What?
Yeah, because I looked at move into the States and realized I couldn't do it.
Well, hey, you could always move to like Belize, where it's real cheap. I'm serious. Everyone already speaks English. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You might lose 40% of your retirement, but I'm just saying, with the 60% you have left, plus any income that you could make, like as like a digital nomad,
live.
you're better off there, you know.
For sure.
But here, you are Canadian, so for some of the guys who might not know, like, can you first talk about Canada and then kind of like the parallels between Canada and the UK? You know what I'm saying?
I didn't want. Yeah, I thought I can weigh in on the UK stuff a little bit too.
Yeah, we can bounce back and forth. Yeah, so. And guys,
go ahead.
You know who's calling, guys? I dropped the StreamYard link in the Discord first, and then I'll open up the lines here in about 20 minutes, you know. But oh, you do have some Canada stuff here. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing too fantastic. You've already went over some great stats there, and they're almost identical stats to Canada. So that that GDP to debt ratio is the same, 95%. And but I think the overarching, there's two things in parallel that are worth diving into for anybody who wants to get up to speed. One is the overriding, like what do you call it? The role of the monarchy, because the Commonwealth is tied together by this monarchy, which everybody over here acts like it's just a formality and a pretty little like a fun little piece of historical context. But the reality is, in all of the Commonwealth countries, the king is still the king, and they have representatives on the ground that basically can start and stop Parliament if they so choose. And they are still the head of the military. So the king's representative is the head of the military in Canada and can dissolve or start up Parliament. But it's just this little throwback, archaic, historical footnote, but it's not. So the hilarious part is both countries, and including Australia and New Zealand and a few other ones, it's still the king's choice. So Trump can joke all he wants about buying these countries, but the king could decide tomorrow to do it. Like, that's the fact. So it's crazy when you think about it. And the other common factor is the fertility crisis.
Yeah.
The fertility crisis is driving so much of everything we're talking about, from GDP to immigration policies, especially, and economic decline that's been shown to be planned by different groups, including Council on Foreign Relations decades ago. That was like, we're going to slowly manage the decline and move resources elsewhere. But the GDP thing's a big one, because as long as they keep the GDP raw numbers high, it looks like the country's doing good compared to other countries. But the GDP per capita is in the absolute tank. The US is not, but these other ones are. It's a dramatic. I'll get a chart for you. But once you throw in, so they can throw in a whole bunch of migration, it increases the GDP because all those people are producing something, supposedly, kind of. But then when you boil it down to how many people they had to dump in to get, a 1% increase in GDP, it's phenomenal. So the per capita stats are just destroyed in both countries, in all of those countries, because of that. And so it's a minor prop up for short-term political gain, but the trickle-down impacts are horrific, because that's absolute growth in social services. That's what this video is about. That's kind of it's a tame video, but and the people that are funding the social services get smaller and smaller. The people using it are larger and larger. It's the 80-20 rule. In fact,
that's where France is right now, guys. France is actually the most cooked place out of everywhere, because their social services only come from income tax, right? At least the UK and Canada can draw from energy tax and other things, but France is only from income tax. So, and then anytime, it's really easy to vote out the prime minister. So anytime that a prime minister tries to diversify the tax revenue base, they get booted out. So since the 90s, France has been borrowing money to keep their welfare state going. And the amount of people, there's young people leaving, and the boomers and older the Gen X are aging out, and there's way less people working, right? So there's a smaller group of people that is trying to support the country through income tax.
Yeah, phenomenal.
And I don't think you guys understand. The more money that you make in places like the UK, the more you get taxed. There's literally
you could easily hit 40% in Canada.
Yeah. There's no point. Like there's no point in actually trying to become a millionaire in Canada. There's no point in trying to become a millionaire in the UK. There's no point. You're literally just working to pay more taxes. Yeah. That's why people leave. That's why anyone who has a skill, right, is going to move to the United States, move to I would even say Australia is better than now New Zealand's cooked. New Zealand's real cooked. Yeah. But there's places where people they would rather go to make more money, because here's the thing. You guys might not understand, but let's just say that you're in the United States and you're a millionaire. And someone says, "Hey, Omni, you can start a software company and look at business tax, right, guys? What people don't invest in Africa because a lot of times Africa is just it's not business friendly. Like outside businesses have to pay like 35 to 40% business tax in places like Ethiopia, Nigeria, right?
Yeah, and importing technology and stuff's extremely expensive.
They can't guarantee the safety of your business. If someone runs up in there and steals stuff, I mean, it's not like the local PD or the government is going to help you get it back. You know,
talking about Africa or Seattle?
Both. But for the most part, the United States, even places like New York, California, you know what I'm saying, Washington, it's more business friendly than say Canada, the UK, whatever. If Omni is going to start a business and he's going to pay, I don't know, 5% business tax in the United States or 10% business tax in the UK, that's a big difference. That's double. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Corporate tax is over 20%.
20%.
Yeah.
20%. That's crazy.
And they've made it so that you have a corporation which has its own overhead costs, like thousands of dollars a year to run, just for accounting and stuff. And then you park your money in there, they'll tax you 20%. But then you take it out as a shareholder. There's then they'll make up the difference so that you'll still be paying the 35 to 40% overall. So there's no benefit to corporation almost at all either.
Guys, Florida has a 5.5% corporate income tax, a 6% state sales tax, and no income tax, no individual income tax. Why would you choose to make a business in the UK, guys? Or imagine, let's just say, was it Goldbuild and Rajai and Wes have a software business, or no, an investing firm where they're managing the investments in mutual funds. Why wouldn't they just pick up their business and move it to Florida from the UK and save what 25%? 30%?
Yeah, probably.
And guys, the UK is so cooked that they were trying to tax people for businesses that they had outside the UK. So imagine if Omni has a business in Singapore that has nothing to do with the UK. They're going to charge him for that too. Hold on. Look at this. Look at this. Why UK businesses are moving to the UAE. Look at this.
Tax benefits for UK firms and individuals in the UAE. I'm Richard from Safari Star, and in this video, we will be discussing the business incentives in UAE for UK business. A business owner or individual considering the UAE, you've probably heard about the tax benefits. Let's take a quick look of what makes the UAE such an attractive professionals. Number one, first up, no personal income tax.
Look at that, guys. Look at that. No personal income tax. No corporate tax at all. What? What? Look at that.
There's no corporate tax for most companies, especially those in free zones. If you're making under 375,000 AED a year, you don't have to worry about it at all. Those making a bit more, there is a 9% tax, but that's still a lot lower compared
to what, 35%, like you had said?
Yeah.
Omni says, that there is 23%. Wow. 23%.
Yeah, they change it. It's if you're under 500K as a company, then it goes down quite a bit. But that's been my experience, was the 20%.
This means you won't be taxed twice on the same income, which can be a big relief if you're earning or doing business in both countries.
So, guys, imagine if you are like a content creator and you're doing really, really, really well, right? Let's just say you're one of these large YouTubers. Now you see why like Zuby and a couple of these other guys live in the UAE. It's because he's not paying any tax for his LLC at all. At all. Look at that, guys. Now there was a thing where they were talking directly about this and why this lady, she was saying that the specific reason why people are leaving the UK is for this reason, especially, but where is that one here, guys? Here, I have another thing to pull up, but here you go, guys. Look at this.
This guy so cooked right, bro. We are so cooked right now, and nobody wants to talk about it. Everyone wants to ignore it. I just went to the gas station, and gas was $1.70 a liter. What is going on? I went to Pizza, and the pizza is $30 for a large pizza and 2 dips. What? In what world is a large pizza and 2 dips $30? And then like you have everyone losing their jobs. I just lost my job at General Motors, and the CRA and My Service Canada and all these people, they're so terrible at their jobs. I have been waiting for EI for like 2 months and literally have not gotten anything. If it wasn't for the love of God and my willpower to make money regardless, I literally would be like homeless right now. Like, Canada, yo, fix up. Or we're all like, are we cooked? Chat, are we cooked? Because it feels like we're cooked right now. You know what, Canada? Like, we tried and we failed. We have to just like admit it at this point. We tried to make a great country. We tried to make a prosperous country, and we failed. Houses are $1 million. The next generation's cooked. We're never gonna own nothing unless we have like a house we're inheriting or something. But if you're starting from zero right now and you're trying to get up, it ain't happening. Bro, we are.
Gold Pill is correct, guys. Women are to blame. I mean, to be perfectly honest, it is true. They are to blame because they're the ones who voted in all this foolishness. The people who live life on easy mode, who've never had to work for anything, you put them in charge. Why? Here we go.
Dude, the Canadian job market is so fucking cooked, dude.
Dude, this is an Asian guy saying this.
Oh, man.
That's how you know things are cooked when an Asian guy is saying this. Look at that.
I mean, if you know anything about Canada and you try to work anything, dude, you will realize that.
Someone says what a job fair in Canada looks like now. Guys, isn't it funny, guys, how like our stereotype of Indians here, like all of our Indian, like the Indians we get are all like doctors and doctors and lawyers. Like that's like the whole thing, right, Colin? Right?
Mostly, yeah.
Like the stereotype that we have are like Indians are all like making a lot of money. The highest earning people in the United States per capita are Indians here.
Wow.
Yeah, did you know that on me?
No. I mean, I've worked with a lot of them though
Um,
in the States.
No, I think that's starting to change. Like yesterday, actually, I went to the grocery store and there was this one Indian dude that he was, relatively well dressed. But it took the dude, I don't understand. It took the dude like 10 minutes to check out or scan and pay for one item at the self checkout. And man, dude, this guy stank like ass, dude. I couldn't believe how bad this guy stank. I mean,
guys, look, Asian Americans represent the highest earning racial ethnic groups in the United States with overall median household incomes exceeding 120 grand. Within this demographic, Indian Americans are the highest earning specific ethnic group with average and median household incomes exceeding 150 grand.
Is that all Silicon Valley though?
Well, Silicon Valley, it's their lawyers, their doctors, right?
Yeah.
Now, yes, there are the ones who run the convenience stores, right? Yes, but where I'm from, all the Indians I knew were all like rich. So that's why you guys as Canadians up there, that's a very strange that the stereotype that you guys have for them is completely different than
Yeah,
what
but
we
I think it was similar. It's similar to what you experienced, but it was a few years ago, and now it's like every gig worker fits that demographic now. Like it's just like all the pharmacies are Indian more or less, but then all these fast food places and stuff and
but I think
Uber drivers and everything
we get the ones that are like higher caste system ones, you know what I'm saying, that come here.
Yep.
And you guys
it feels like
you guys get the field workers. You know what I mean? But it's just crazy,
right. Yeah,
to just think of like the fact that people have such a negative view of Indians, because even at my job, like most of the doctors are Indians, like your medical doctors are Indians, you know?
Yeah, I had a lot of that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the highest earning. Sorry, guys. So this is Indians, Filipinos, Taiwanese, Sri Lankans, Japanese, Malaysians, Chinese, Pakistanis, white people.
Wait, what?
1,000.
Why are we so low?
Indonesians.
I demand equity.
I know, right? Yeah, where's the DEI? Gold pill, please watch your language in the chat. Guys, look, if we're gonna talk about this type of stuff, guys, look, YouTube's been on the rampage as of late. So guys, code your language, please, guys. Just you can type what you want to type, but just change one letter, or leave a letter out, or put an underscore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, but guys, I don't want the stream taken down. And my channel just started growing again, guys. Wow, the algorithm's been every single type of channel that's like mine. We've basically been stalled out for the last 4 months. I would say maybe since February we've been stuck, and it's because YouTube's algorithm has just been getting us. I know two guys. One guy's been stuck, and then there's another guy whose channel got nuked. You know what I'm saying? So guys, just code your language in the chat. Guys, look, I have no problem with Indians or whatever and Asians making what they make in the United States because they just work harder than everyone else. Gold Pill, you're okay, dude. No worries. Just guys, hit the like button on the way in. Yeah, guys, all my Asian friends, Koreans, Japanese, Chinese, they just work harder than everyone else. Sorry, they just do.
Mhm.
And it's almost to a detriment. The tiger parents, right? Like the way that they run their kids into the ground is crazy. I know that it helps, social economically and all, but damn, like it's sad.
Yeah, well, one of the things I was referencing like gig workers, right? And there's always and fast food workers, stuff like that. But these lower income jobs, which are also usually lower education and stuff too, are fine. Like usually the Western nations don't mind giving those jobs up or whatever, and except students don't get jobs like that anymore around in Canada because they're all taken up. But it's almost like those are going to become like the majority of jobs as these economies decline. So it's almost like, well, yeah, those are going to be like the typical type of work people end up getting instead of regular normal jobs that last multiple years or decades.
Yeah.
And like you can't live on it, but it's still going to be what you have to live on, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're going to have to grind just to live.
Yep.
We're cooked, bro. It's over, dude. It's only gonna get worse. The job market is literally shrinking because the economy is shrinking because businesses don't profit and there's monopolies that own this shit. Okay.
Oh, true.
The top 5 big banks, top 4 whatever the fuck, top 2
telcos,
telecommunication or fucking this, that. Dude, listen, dude. We don't have anything. We just mine a bunch of shit. And what else? Like, seriously, gas? Like, dude, like America is literally fucking us so hard that if you want to go work in America as, let's say, investment banker, for example, it's literally impossible now. If you're a software engineer, maybe you have to roll the lottery. Yeah, maybe you get in. And the positions, based on the ratio, the amount of people to the amount of jobs that people hire, it's like fucking 50 people to get a year from the entire country for a job like investment banking, bro. If you want to do a job like that,
it's not America's. Okay, it's not America's problem.
Thousands and thousands of people from every different university, every school. Okay, maybe you're one of the 50 to get lucky. Listen, dude, unless if you jerk your boss off every single day, hey, can I have a coffee chat? Or your dad knows this guy. Listen, dude, it's over, dude. It's over for you, okay? Let me tell you something, dude. This is such a losing game. I don't know why people play this shit. People literally leave the country to find opportunities in other places. They go, like, America's the number 1, or they go to Europe sometimes. I don't fucking know, France or London or some shit. Like, that's going to help, dude. I don't know, dude. It's just so useless. No. And it's like, bro, what's the point to make $100K, $200K a year? After taxes, you're taking home less than that. It's like, fuck, dude. Gonna be a slave. I guess you learn something, build some connections. Maybe by the time you're 40, you can finally buy a house. Like, whatever, dude. I don't know, man. I mean, the way how I see it is that money, like, I don't know. When did people not realize how money is made? Like, in order for the company to pay you, they need to make money, which means people have to spend money. People have to give them money. Unless if the government does it, then they're just printing more money. Then there's just more inflation. Like, this like idea where money gets passed around and productivity happens and we are producing value is such a fucking bullshit thing, because it's like literally money can be exchanged between me and you. Where's the fucking value, dude? Dude, the Canadian job market is so fucking cooked, dude. I mean, if
you walk into the grocery store now and you honestly wonder how the hell we've gotten to this point. $20 for a watermelon.
Whoa. That's how I know there's not a lot of black people in Canada.
The watermelons are from Mexico, by the way. Oh, the tomatoes are from Mexico too, usually.
Well, and don't forget the fact that they're actually still in the store, not stolen. You know.
Yeah, that's the quality is not good either. They were picked 3 months ago on a yep. Don't look at the $8 head of lettuce. I'm serious on that.
I'm gonna choke.
Hey, Omni, what's the price of grape soda at the stores now?
I know. Oh no!
I mean, we're working on diversifying.
Purple drink, or as they say in Canada, purple drink A. Oh, Julia, how you doing? Lucas, how you doing? Rajai, how you doing? Where's Matt at? He said he was gonna call in. Hold on. And then Fenris said he was gonna call in too. But yeah, and then I think that that Anonymous said he called in too. Guys, here, I'll drop.
Yeah, I wanted to hear Anonymous, better get in here.
Yeah. Here we go.
We've gotten to this point. $20 for a watermelon. If you've been following inflation, it's just been going up. The latest reported is 4.4% for food prices, 7.8% for fresh vegetables. It's just been going up and up, and it's becoming more and more detached from wages, which continue to stagnate. I honestly go to these grocery stores and I question every time, how are people surviving? I look at the prices of meat. I look at the prices of watermelons. I look at the prices of tomatoes. I saw a tomato, $5 for a single tomato. I cannot believe my
$5 for a single tomato. Look at that. Holy moly, cooked.
eyes. This is what we've allowed to happen in our country. People can't afford to eat. No wonder the lineups at food banks are so much. No wonder food banks can't keep up. People can't survive. Walk into
Canada is cooked. As of tomorrow, they're not going to need any permission or any signatures from any other party to pass any bill they want. The thing that gets me the most, the conservatives who've crossed the floor, they know how much the average Canadian is fed up with this liberal government, and they do it anyway. That's a total slap in the face. Those floor crossers are the worst. You know what, though? If you get tired of the cost of living, the inability to get ahead, the price of food, the price of fuel, all that stuff, that's okay. There's Made. They've thought about you. Don't worry. Even if you want to get out of here, there's going to be a massive tax in order to leave because so many professionals that are.
Yeah, for context,
hold on. This is what they're trying to do with New York.
Yeah.
New York, they were actually trying to push to have a tax for all the rich people who have left New York already. And guys, they were saying Axel Justice Warrior, he had a video out today about Seattle, and they were saying that the capital gains tax, 80% of like the $429 million $800 million was actually paid out by 12 people.
Wow.
12.
Wow.
And those 12 people are either leaving or going or will have left. So it equals out to like
that was exactly what I was going to bring up. If you want to see where New York City is going, just look at Portland.
Hold on,
and don't forget,
gains,
California's been trying to do this for years already.
Paid by look at this. Damn it, but 12 people. Yeah, damn it. But there was an article. It was saying how if those 12 people leave or when they leave, 80% of that capital gains tax that pays for student programs in schools is cooked. They're gone. it's not coming back. You know, what a joke. Matt, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was just saying that
It's all you, man.
Portland it is like a precursor for what is going to come in California and New York. These policies, they always fail. Like I like what that guy had to say, because compare what that guy that you have on the screen, what he had to say compared to like what Michael Moore was demonstrating when he went to Canada to talk about their healthcare system. He tried to make it out seem like Canada was this socialist utopia, and now juxtaposition that with what this man is saying, where it's basically become unlivable for regular people.
Yeah, here. Check this out.
Report says group behind this report says the actual number of people dying is likely much higher, as many provinces don't track these types of deaths.
Debbie Fuster was expecting a straightforward triple bypass operation, a few days in hospital and then recovery at home. Except the Manitoba woman died before ever getting the surgery.
It still feels like shock.
Daniel Fuster says doctors told his mom she needed heart surgery within 3 weeks. She was left waiting for nearly 3 months.
That's universal health care for you.
There was some major mess ups that resulted in her file basically not going to where it needed to go.
Fuster is not alone. According to public policy think tank SecondStreet.org, nearly 300,000 patients died in Canada while waiting for surgeries or diagnostic procedures between April 2024 and March 2025. But the organization warns the numbers are likely higher, as many provinces don't track these deaths or only collect partial data.
Fundamentally, these are embarrassing numbers, and I think that's why governments are not keen to go out and track them carefully.
Second Street is calling on all provinces and territories to track and disclose these deaths. They also want to see hospital funding tied directly to performance, a reform they believe will improve wait times.
It's crazy to keep doing the same thing.
Oh, you mean act like a private business? Huh? You mean actually allocate money and stuff based on performance? Gee, that sounds like what private businesses do, right? If you perform well, you get paid? Very, very interesting. Come on, man.
Throwing money at the system and hoping something will change.
Another proposed reform is Debbie's Law, a Manitoba private members bill championed by the Fuster family, which would require health authorities to inform patients when life-saving treatment cannot be provided in a timely manner.
Look at that.
Debbie's Law is not.
Oh, so Debbie's Law is just the Canadian government telling you to put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye.
Yep.
Look at that, guys.
Perfect.
What
It's
a
not going
joke.
to solve every problem, but it is a great starting point to begin asking for transparency.
This year's numbers mark a 3% increase from last year, and according to Second Street,
She looks like Celine Dion, right?
And this was the thing too, like with that story, it's the epitome of the Canadian culture. Is you put in your doctor says, yeah, you need this thing, and they send in the requisition to the specialist somewhere. You never even really know, and then you wait, and you know it's going to be months before you ever even hear, and all you might get is like a letter about it.
Well, you know what's interesting,
and so people just sit and wait, and it's like you have to like be an advocate for yourself and chase after every piece of information, or you don't get the service.
But the thing that irks me the most is that liberals talk about, what's it called, monopolies, and what's the other word that they use that they don't know the meaning of the actual oligarchies and all this other crap. The guys, socialized medicine and stuff, guys, that means that the government's the ultimate monopoly.
Well,
they're advocating for monopoly.
You
know what I mean?
It's true.
That's the stupidest thing
That's got dogs again.
I've ever heard. Yeah, guys, even the dog agrees with this. But guys,
yeah, and it's if you look at any kind of stat, you'll see that it's very underperforming in terms of G7, G20
Yeah.
listings for the dollar performance. It's always low in socialist countries like this.
Yes.
A new report suggests more Canadians are dying while they're on the wait list to receive crucial medical care. Think tank secondstreet.org filed Freedom of Information requests for that data across our country from between April 2024 and March of this year. In that time, nearly 24,000 patients passed away while waiting for surgeries or diagnostic.
24,000 people. 24,000 people in a country of 40 million.
It's a whole city.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's up. Like, and this is the problem. So when you have a monopoly and then you have a conflict of interest in actually the success of the system. So look at it this way. Older people are a burden on social services and the costs. So we could actually bring our costs down by not providing the essential service to keep them going or keep them alive.
Yeah.
So if they pass away, then it's actually better for our bottom line, and it'll be an uptake in our revenue. That's a total. How much worse of a horrible conflict of interest could you even imagine? One that's based on life and death and dollars for the government. Like, there's absolutely no way that they could resist that.
Yeah.
That's why these programs that end life early are so hardly pushed.
Yeah, guys. You know what's funny too, and as a segue into going from Canada to the UK, because we'll spend another probably half hour on Canada, and then we'll go in the UK. Have you seen all the people that are literally dropping dead in Europe because of the heat, and they have no AC or any of that?
Yeah, I just heard about it.
Yeah, and
because they were trying to fight
AC machines.
Yep. They banned AC machines, and now the Brits are literally cooked.
Yeah, like they're getting over 40 Celsius in early summer, but in these countries are pushing new policies to try to get more AC into place. And it's like, meanwhile, they don't even have enough power to power everything already because they've destroyed, because of their green economies, they destroyed their energy infrastructure and their natural gas infrastructure and all these things. They're going to have a what was it, like, a Texas blackout kind of thing from everybody turning on the heat on the AC all at the same time.
The telling thing about the environmentalists is that they'll never accept like technologies that could solve the problem that are not carbon based, right? But like if you suggest something like nuclear that like didn't run on uranium, for example, like thorium, that's completely safe, they'll still be opposed to it because it's not really about the environment for them. That's not really the agenda that they're pushing.
Absolutely. And I don't know if people realize too, a large part of the green agenda, which then turned into corporate slush funds and funds like carbon credit funding, like we never see it. You and I never see it, except maybe you'll see it like, oh, on your airplane ticket cost an extra carbon price, or on other consumer level things where they tag on the, oh, well, it's for climate such and such, but all that goes into a fund. And Canada's prime minister in an earlier life created the whole framework for all that funding that has like destroyed the West in the last 20 years. That was all him, and now he's in power here. Goodbye.
So the unfinished nuclear power plant in Washington State is known as Satsum Nuclear Plant. It's located in Elma, which is out in the middle of nowhere. It was part of the largest nuclear construction project in U.S. history, but was canceled. So, guys, they never use this. And I remember driving by this when we used to go out to the beach, And, guys, you could just
got a picture of it?
Out. Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, look at this.
Wow.
It's just out in the middle of nowhere.
They turned that into condos.
Out in the middle of nowhere, guys.
So part of my training in the Army was with nuclear devices and nuclear
I'll be right back,
fusion. And I can tell you that if you wanted to, like, say, convert a coal-powered generator to a thorium nuclear reactor, you actually could do that, and you could retrofit the system and use what is already there. You can retrofit a coal-fired power plant to run on thorium energy or thorium.
That'd be amazing.
And there's no nuclear waste because thorium self-immolates. You don't need like the water pressurized systems that they have for uranium reactors. You can actually use liquid salt as the moderator. So you're not even using water and you're not using uranium. This technology, we created it in the 50s and the 60s. And the only reason why it didn't go forward is because we needed uranium reactors to produce fissile material for our nuclear weapons infrastructure.
And if I recall correctly, they had both of those designs on the desk going, we could go either way with this. Thorium is in, friggin' beach sand and seawater and real cheap, real easy.
Yeah, it's a waste
and
product.
they just flipped a coin plus the uranium thing and chose the one that maybe was a little further ahead or whatever. And the world hasn't caught up since.
No, it's a little bit more calculated than that. What the DOE did was they subsidized uranium at every single stage of, like, mining, tilling, refining, in order to make uranium as cost effective as burning thorium. And that because the nuclear reactors for uranium were the only ones that could produce plutonium and U-235, which is the uranium pits that they use in atomic weapons. Without these reactors, you don't have a fuel fabrication line. There's no other way to do it. So
and it was a security thing. Yeah.
So, like, and I've been a big advocate for this. I think that Trump should completely get rid of all of the subsidies for uranium. Completely revamp the system. Get rid of the old the DOE system that was designed to produce nuclear weapons, and what would that call? Create a new agenda that was around clean and efficient and safe nuclear energy. And we could do that at the plants that we've already shut down.
Yeah,
you
the
don't
coal
need
ones
to build.
too.
You don't need to build huge new plants. You can already go to every former nuclear and coal-fired plant and retrofit it to burn thorium.
Absolutely.
I'm a big advocate for that.
No, I mean, this is the big thing for all Western nations, every nation, but all Western nations are just held back by energy. Once energy is more plentiful and there's new sources that come online, everyone's quality of life goes up.
Yeah,
they don't talk.
Yeah, but it's not just the West. This is the thing that climate change people don't get. And guys, Matt, chime in here. I need you to let me know if you agree with this analogy. Climate change activists are like vegans. You know how vegans complain about what they eat because they have so much abundance that they can be choosy about what they eat.
Yep.
People in the third world can't be vegans.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have enough abundance. They have to eat what's around. Guys, climate change people have so much energy and abundance that they somehow think that we can either cut it down or go without it. Do you know who benefits the most from regulated heat and air conditioning?
China.
The third world.
China.
World. No. But just think about how many millions of people in Africa would die if there wasn't buildings or places that they can go where there was air conditioning and power to keep them them cool. How many people in cold areas like Mongolia, parts of Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, other mountains, Kazakhstan, Dagestan, where now they have heat from electricity. Before they would just freeze to death.
Yep.
There's literally people cooking their meal over a pile of dung burning in a mud hut, and you're telling me that they shouldn't have electricity.
Well,
or
and
coal.
China, like Matt said. Yeah.
The reason why I said China is because we handicap ourselves with these regulative what would you call it, systems, whatever. We handicap ourselves. Whereas China, even if they say that they're going to do something, they don't actually do it.
Yeah.
They do whatever in their best interest, and they tell everybody else what they want to hear.
These climate activists, they're gonna just stop oil, governor. We're going to shut down the roads, governor. Just stop the oil, guys. The UK is responsible for less than like 1% of the world's carbon emissions. China's responsible for almost 40% by itself. Hey, why don't you go over to China? You absolute dunce. Oh, that's right. Because we all know what happened in a certain square, right? When the tanks ran over people that one time. You guys remember that? So,
yeah.
Oh, no. Another Canadian. They're everywhere.
Oh, good.
Yeah, here they come.
Fenris. Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, shit.
He's coming in angry. Fenris ain't even got started yet, and he's cussing.
Yeah. No, leaving this country because they're sick of this are leaving. So
this guy is right, because it started with France, guys. France has lost more educated, skilled young people than any other Western country. France. Because the taxes are so high. France has higher taxes than anywhere else in the Western world. It's nuts. And once again, it's because their only tax base comes from income tax. So guys, you know what this is equal to? You guys know how we talk about these dunderheaded broads buy condos and stuff and act like, oh, it's a good investment. Well, guys, there's a set amount that the complex has to pay, right? The less people who work there, who live there, that amount every year for landscaping or repairs, all that comes from these condo fees, right? If the condos are all bought, it's distributed amongst that many people. But the more people who move out, the people who are left have to pay those condo fees, right? So if 50% of the population move out, guess what? That bill still comes due. That's what's going on with the French and their welfare state. Every year, there's less and less people working, but the tax still has to get paid. So not only are they taxing people, but they're borrowing money. Billions and billions every year because they cannot start taxing capital gains, energy, or anything else because the prime ministers keep getting voted out. So, yeah.
Liberal government saying, oh, you want to leave? Okay, you're going to have to pay all this money. These people are sick and demented. They have imported so many people from the third world in order to secure votes.
Yeah,
because
that's what I was going to say. That's what they're doing here, guys. If you're wondering why, for most of my life, I think me, Matt, and Colin were all the same age.
I'm 49.
You guys remember Clinton?
Yep.
Hillary Clinton, Obama, Biden. They're all saying we need to close these borders and get these illegals out of here. my entire life, the Democrats were the party of closed borders because these Republicans and these corporations want cheap labor, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
And then what
Right.
happened in 2020, it flipped. That I'm telling you guys, this is the biggest political shift I've ever seen in such a short amount of time. In 2020, all of a sudden, it was the Democrats opening up the border and letting all these people in.
Because they knew their opponent couldn't fix it.
Yes, no.
AJ, just pause for a second. Just you don't have to worry because Monica Lewinsky, she'll vote Republican because the Democrats have a bad taste in her mouth.
Oh!
We know U.S. politics.
Hey-o! Not Fenris, Matt, but Matt.
Yes, sir.
Why do you think that the Democrats, especially California, Oregon, Washington State, wanted a whole bunch of people coming into the country?
More votes.
Cheap labor that all of these Democrats profit off of, and political power.
Yes.
It isolates. Their party goes from being competitive with the Republicans to being dominant in the states where they have
not quite. The issue is, what are the most abandoned states in the union, guys?
What do you mean by
states
abandoned?
had the most people leave to move to other parts of the United States?
That would be California and New York.
California, Oregon, Washington
You'll
State,
lose seats, right?
New York. Thank you. So, and what happens? You start losing. Is it Senate seats or congressional seats based?
Not
on your
Senate, because those are 2 per state.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it would be House of Representatives.
Yeah. You start losing House seats. So they have to stabilize the population by bringing in illegals.
Right.
Think about how many people have left California. Someone actually put a good chart of the states that have had people leave. Guys, California, the only thing that's been keeping the population stable is illegals. Matt, you were saying?
Wow.
Oh no, I was just gonna say no, AJ, you're spot on. It boils down to the census data. 2020, the demonic rats, they started realizing that their voter base, they were losing their voter base, and there's with the census data of all their congressional districting. So remember the congressional districting, it has nothing to do with citizens. It's all about how many people are in certain areas, and I think this is something that the Supreme Court wasn't there a rulings at some point years ago where the Supreme Court said that the census data, you couldn't ask whether somebody was a citizen in order to count them.
Yeah.
Or some. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, there was here. Hold on. Check this out, guys. This isn't it, but look at this. So California, look at this. 691,000 people moved from California in 1 year to Texas, Arizona, and Nevada. Look at that. See? 691,000 people. That's that they know of. New York, 483,000 people moved from New York in 1 year. Look at that, guys. Texas,
Wow.
Illinois. But there is one that actually is like a nationwide map of people moving to different states. I think it was on Twitter. But yeah, basically, California's cooked. If California didn't change things, they were going to start losing seats in the House. Period. So they said, "Hey, look, we're going to let a bunch of illegals in and give them free stuff, so then they'll vote for it, and then not have voter ID laws, so they'll vote for us."
You mean
Yeah,
there's some
they
hope
get
for me
around
getting
that
to-
by allowing people that are non-citizens to vote in state elections. And then those people just so happen to also get to cast a ballot for federal elections. That's sort of how they get around that. It's like they muddy the waters by allowing them to vote in state elections. And then there's always, like in the next couple of cycles, there's always a follow-on where those people just so happen to be included in the voter rolls, and then they can use a student ID to vote. I mean, it's all very calculated.
Yeah.
And I find like to bring it all back to Canada and UK too, like the irony is how activated people can get to say oppose the oligarchy and big business bad. At the same time, they vote to bring in the people that those big corporate globalists benefit from having.
Yeah.
And it gives them the influence in the state or national elections as well. And at the same time, they really achieve a low quality of life, and it messes up life for everybody else. It's crazy that you can protest both at the same time.
What we brought up before about the promises of universal health care in Canada and then the realities is exactly because the same people who vote for universal health care never bother to actually learn about the economics of health care. And healthcare and healthcare services, the distribution of healthcare services. They're not interested in the actual numbers. Just like none of these Marxists are in like New York that vote for like Mandami. None of them are interested in learning about any of the other Marxist revolutions like around the planet, like in Russia or China or in Southeast Asia. They're not interested in learning about that, despite the fact that they're literally taking a page out of the book of the same ideology, the same things that they've tried. They're not interested in actually doing the homework. I feel like the Marxists are like the lazy kids in the class.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean? It's like only these Marxists, they never bother to frickin' learn how to read.
And if you ever looked, if anybody doubts what you're saying, all they have to do is go look at Soviet Union and the central command and control of the economy, and I'm sure the same thing's kind of happening in China, but not really.
Absolutely.
And see that they had absolute control. They had millions of variables they're tracking all the time. They had millions of people they could just move around and assign to different things, and they still couldn't make it work.
Right.
Yeah.
They just couldn't make, like, without diving into evil about it or anything, just pragmatically.
You know, I mean,
well, Matt, if I could just this is a thing about socialism that I always tell people to try and make it simple, right? Not Fenris, Matt, but Matt, how tall are you?
Huh? I'm 6'1", 6'2".
And how much do you weigh?
I weigh 185.
Okay,
what
so I'm 6'3" and I'm 250, right?
There we go.
All right, Omni, here, bad example. Omni, how tall are you?
Same as you.
Colin, how tall are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. What does that mean?
Colin, okay, all right. How much do you weigh?
He's 5'11". Come on.
5'11", 6 foot, 180.
Okay, better. So I'm saying 6'3", 255, right? In a communist system, they would take what the average Soviet citizen and say this person needs this amount of food based on the average, right?
Mm-hmm.
Colin is 6 foot and 184 pounds. I'm 6'3", 255 pounds. How is it fair that we get the same amount of food? How is it fair? I'm 6'3". It's not fair. I'm cooked. And let's just say that we both do manual labor jobs. How is that fair? How is it beneficial to me, or even Colin's bigger than the average, because the average man's what, 5'10", 170 pounds or 180 pounds. We're both bigger than the average guy, right?
Yeah.
How is it fair that the government gets to say, look, everyone gets, 3 meals a day that equal 1,500 calories? That's not fair. It's not.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, you're talking equity.
Oh yeah.
you want equity?
Matt, you were saying?
Well,
Matt?
When you want to talk about these ideas that the communists put forward, I just want to remind everybody that the greatest famine in all of mankind's history happened in China after World War II, when Mao took control of the economy, and over 100 million Chinese people were executed, starved to death, died in the prisons, or in the Laogai prisons, the political prisons. They wanted to create economic equality, and they killed 100 million people and vastly missed the mark, because China today is much more unequal or unequal than America is.
Here it is.
Hey guys,
Here it is, guys.
can I get a word in for a second? I just want to point out that my family came from Russia when the Prussian the Prussian Empire kind of separated and kind of went its ways. In 1923, they came into Russell, Manitoba, because they put in this in the Soviet Union. They sided with the Red Army, thinking that they would get a better deal, and then in return, in about 3 or 4.5 years later, the Red Army came up to their doorstep, knocked on their door, and kicked us out for farm. They took everything. They took everything from my mother's side of the family.
That's a process called dekulakization.
There was a lot of black Americans after World War I who actually left the United States to go to Russia, thinking that it was some communist utopia. There was black Americans who actually wrote letters saying, "Hey, Mom, Dad, we've heard that communism's great," whatever. Or there was black GIs too who actually left. Did you guys? And they were never heard from again, obviously. But there was actually a couple thousand black Americans who left the United States and went to Russia. And can you imagine, guys, the moment that they got off the boat, they finally realized
you've been had, you've been took, you've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
You know what else?
Finish you were saying? Finish you were saying?
Yeah, and it's also just trying to tell you, it's just like I knew people that came from there, and he would tell you that when you're in, say if you're at a place like Poland, because since it was conquered by the Soviet Union, you could be waiting in line for about 3 to 4 days, swapping places with family members just to get a bag of sugar.
Wow.
You just remember, like, that's exactly what's happening on our doorstep. They organize all the thefts in the cities and in the supermarkets and stuff, and then they sell you the solution to give you locked doors. So what ends up happening is when they flip the switch and you get the digital ID coming in, they just lock you out of food until you starve yourself into submission.
Especially when you factor in that over 50% of the population now is in urban environments, which is horrible for.
And and let's take everyone's firearms away. Yeah, that's
what happened to me. That's what happened to me.
Isn't this the craziest thing that people just don't get? Because I have one friend of mine. He's really, really, really cool. But one of the fundamental things that he and I disagree on is firearms. And I'm like, you honestly don't think that there can come a day where your local, state, or federal government does some crazy stuff where you're like, whoa, hold on, you got to arm yourself? Like, it's just crazy to just think that people live in such a world where they don't think that. Yeah. You guys know how many times, and they don't talk about this much, and in the UK, well, back when the UK had guns, but the United States, Canada, where you had these towns more towards the 1800s or the early 1900s, where the sheriff or the mayor would be doing some tyrannical stuff. So the townsfolk or the men of the town would grab their Winchesters and chase the sheriff or the friggin' mayor out of town. Guys, look at Robin Hood. The sheriff of Nottingham was oppressing everybody. You know what I'm saying? He was a sheriff of Nottingham. That's what people don't get. You know what I mean? Guys, here's look at this map here. So these are the people. These are the states in 2025 that are losing the most people. Guys, put surprise or not surprise. Guys, drop a like on the stream, guys. I appreciate that. Guys, look, Washington State. You see that? I don't know if this is.
Oh, I would love to live in Wyoming.
California, negative 25.1. Washington, negative 10.7. Look at this. Texas, plus 23. Look at this. Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina has the fastest per capita growth in the country.
What's wrong with North Carolina? What's going on there? What's going on in North Carolina?
I don't know. As far
I thought that was one of the better states.
Yeah, it's great here. I love it here.
Yeah, I just want. Well, if you look at on your screen there, you have North Carolina is minus 19.2. Like, what's going on there?
I hadn't heard that. I know that there's cities like Charlotte's the third or second fastest growing city in the United States. So maybe it's the surrounding cities. Because look, maybe it was the hurricanes. Because we've had those big hurricanes last year, so people are getting out.
Yeah, it's going to be all about the major cities, right, in those areas.
I thought it was all about. I thought that was black fatigue.
Hey-o! I see what you did there.
Then look at Idaho there.
Yeah.
That'd be second, I guess.
Yeah. Idaho.
Like you got to be desperate, man.
Whoa, Colin. Why is Idaho growing fast?
Well, because it's very conservative. Not very many of the demonic rat people,
People from Washington State talk big mess until they see people from Yakima, Spokane. They can move 14 miles away, and they're in Idaho, right? And they're paying 20% less tax.
Yeah.
And the grocery stores always have lots of watermelons.
Yeah, think of this, guys. No, really. Yeah. Well, guys, there is some measure of truth because, guys, Eastern and Western Washington are two completely different places. It's like they're all the watermelons and onions and apples are all farmed on Eastern Washington. It snows there. It's crazy. My point is, guys, if all of us had had businesses, or if all of us even worked from home, let's just say, and why would and we live in Yakima, and our county and our state say that we're going to raise taxes by 5 to 10%, then all we have to do is move 14 miles away. And we're not only not having our taxes go up, we're paying 10% less. Why would we not move to Idaho? It's 14 miles away.
Yeah.
So that's most of the Eastern Washington people who are worth a damn. I would even say the Centrals are moving to Idaho. They're going from right here to right here.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. Just as an example here. So right now gas prices. So I'm in Marysville, Washington. I'm just a little bit north of Seattle and King County, and unfortunately, it's slowly starting to turn to crap. But anyways, gas prices here. After the fuel rewards, discount from Fred Meyer, I'm paying about $5 a gallon, or just under $5. No. Hear me out. I'm paying about just under $5 a gallon. That's after the discount for the premium gas, right? So a little over 2 months ago, I bought another car yet again. And I had to go down all the way into Seattle to find this little diamond of a Mercedes, right? And the tank was completely empty. So when I, signed the paperwork, I had to, dash across the street to get gas in it, right? It was $6.93
Wow.
Gallon. And that's just because King County has an extra tax on gas, and then Seattle on top of King County has an extra tax on the gas. I put in just a couple gallons. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get just enough to get me home, and then fill up over, home. But insane, just insane.
Yeah. Colin, when are you leaving, bro?
You asked me this a couple times. A couple months ago, I said 2, maybe 3 at the absolute. I'm starting to think more like maybe 1 year at the most. I mean, it's
This is getting too crazy, guys. It really, really is. And who has the money for? But you guys know who the largest group of people who are leaving are parents with children ages was 1 to 7 are moving from these states here and these states here to the South.
Yeah.
They just can't afford it. They can't afford to raise children in these states. And this is exactly what we talked about. What was it, Matt, Fenris, Colin, myself. We talked about all these blue states. You can see people are leaving these states and going to the red states. They're just moving it because of the cost of living. And here's the thing. States like Washington State had no state income tax. But the other taxes have gotten so crazy that people are leaving one of the few states that has no state income tax. So
Same's happening in Canada too.
Yeah. So you guys want to hear something crazy regarding our taxes? And so here in Washington, sales tax is pretty much most of what where most of the tax comes from. So of course, you go to the grocery store. So now, of course, soda and any sugar, any beverages that have any kind of sugar, except for like milk-based protein shakes, they get charged full sales tax. Even a bottle of purified water gets 10% sales tax. And then
what?
No. And then just to add insult to injury, when you go through the self checkout or you go through the cash register and they put your stuff in the bag, they now charge you 8 cents per bag.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That, by the way, that sugar tax and stuff was the first time I experienced that was UK. Canada doesn't quite have it, but UK has it quite well fleshed out. And I mean, it's increased. It has improved the products that they've got available, but in Canada they're trying to get it through. But I was just going to say, in Alberta, there's no sales tax, so you're instantly 7% cheaper products just by moving to a different province. So that's what a lot of people are doing now.
Wow.
The problem with Alberta is, sure, you don't have any PST, but the problem is that everything else around you in Alberta is just so damn expensive. I've noticed that.
Guys, since we have so many Canadians on the panel here, guys, AJ, you want to know another problem? Yeah. This is,
I can tell you why Texas
wait,
is.
hold on. Let's let Fenris talk because I cut him off here. Hold on. Provinces, guys. Here, this is for all of us Americans who aren't. We don't know the Canadian provinces. I'm just saying, let's just do ourselves a favor here and pull up a map of Canada because I don't know where the hell anything is. Fenris, you were saying, bud?
I'm just to let you know, I'm that purple province there, right in the dead center there of one of those purple maps there, Manitoba. There you go, or the green one there, yeah.
Right in Alberta.
Anyway, so what was happening is that Bill C-8 was just recently passed, just the last week. And for people here in Canada that don't know what that is the ability to have a warrantless search on ISP data, telecommunications data, emails, you name it. Now, what ends up happening is now the ability, or the government of Canada somehow can talk to your telecommunications industry, like for instance, Rogers, Bell, I don't know, whatever you have, SaskTel, and they can shut you off. They can turn you off without notice and not have any, they don't have to disclose why. They just turn you off. No internet, no phone, no cell phone, no landline, nothing. They can even turn off your television. And
they were obligated to log everything and make it available through backdoors for the government.
Yeah, it was just passed as law just last week. And this in the United States would be a Fourth Amendment violation. In Canada, we don't have that. We don't have the ability.
You're going to see all the American tech companies are going to have to make a choice, just like Facebook did a few years ago, whether to service Canada in any special way at all.
Well, the problem is there's only two routes. There are routes in the United States. What I've noticed is that people who are critical of the United States government, what they'll do is they'll set up a box in Canada so that way they can host their websites and videos and stuff, and the United States can't touch them, can't disconnect them, can't block them, because Canada and there's one other country in the world that do have one of the only routes that go into that don't go through the United States is through Canada, and now that has to be in question because they can send a notice in and then just turn you off. Wow. No notice, no nothing.
And they did it. They did a test bed there with the trucker convoy things where they actually shut people's bank accounts down and everything.
Well, this is another story.
And it was illegal.
This is a different story though. You might not be able to shut off people's bank accounts as easily, but what we can do is we can turn off your ability to access a phone, to access the internet, and you won't be able to pay for it. They just turn you off. So the only thing you're going to be able to have is a ham radio to be able to get your communications out. That is it.
Better get that license.
Allah says, can U.S. citizens get refugee status and become U.S. citizens? Guys, a lot of these dunderheaded white liberal chicks try it. They're like, I'm a refugee from the United States to Canada because of the evil orange man.
We had to turn away Rosie and Ellen. So.
Heck, I'm trying to do the other way around. What the heck is this about? You can have my spot. I'll take yours.
Hey, Trent, you were saying, buddy?
Yeah, I wanted to touch on why Texas is getting so many people. It's not just a family thing. There's a whole lot going on in terms of infrastructure, political culture, and resource geography. The biggest reason is about 90% of all land in Texas is privately held. This limits what the federal and state government can do in terms of regulation. Texas is mostly flat. I mean, hill country is small beer compared to the Appalachians or Sierra Nevada mountains. All right. Texas has a lot of water compared to the U.S. West. And more importantly, this is really important. Texas property laws have separate surface ownership from mineral ownership. This has created a body of law that makes it very pro-industrial development because most land is privately held. All right?
Yeah, we have it too.
Texas has its own state power grid. Again, this limits what the feds and the EPA can do to slow industrial development. The Texas Railroad Commission controls all interior natural gas and oil pipelines, all right? Which means you can run stuff from Permian oil bases to a port. And this, this is why we have all the facilities to liquefy natural gas and export it. And finally, Texas is a really good hydrocarbon geography that makes natural gas quite literally too cheap to transport without a lot of pipeline infrastructure. And it is the inexpensiveness of natural gas and natural gas liquids that is bringing all sorts of industrial development, because cheap energy brings AI, all right? You got to have cheap energy to run lots of AI. And with really inexpensive natural gas, all of the AI buildouts are coming here because they can grab a turbine, run a pipeline, get it approved from the Texas Railway Commission, from a Permian to whatever AI you want to set up, or in SpaceX's case, also to its space launch facility in Boca Chica. And what it does is it feeds on itself, basically the triangle between Dallas-Fort Worth to San Antonio to Houston is going to be the next industrial hub. And, all of that feeds on itself. And since we have a very pro-business culture here to start with, and, Christian and all the other things you want to say in terms of red state versus blue state, all of these things are feeding a huge buildup of industry here in Texas that is drawing people from everywhere. because if you're in the trades, man, right now, if you're an electrician, if you're a carpenter, if you can do welding, oh my God, this is the place to be, man.
Yeah, I liken it to like the Detroit of the 21st century.
One thing that I can say that a lot of goofy people say, and even I love my dad to death, but he was trying to say that the Microsoft and Google and all these companies that popped up in Washington State or all these tech places that popped up in California, they popped up there because they could only pop up there. Like it's only because of the talent. It's like, no, first of all, where Silicon Valley popped up, it was cheap. There was a bunch of college students where they could set up shop. It was cheap and they weren't going to get taxed. You know what I'm saying? In the same way as Washington State at the time. It was cheap, and there's a bunch of people there, and there was no regulation there. You know what I'm saying? There was
Washington also had a lot of hydroelectric power.
Yes.
Which was cheap.
Yes, but what happened now? There's regulations out the wazang, right? There's taxes, right? The cost of living's high, so those conditions aren't there anymore. Kind of like Hollywood, guys. Since Tinseltown has been an actual thing, they had a captive audience. If you were going to make movies, you had to make them in California. But guess what? It costs too much money. There's too much regulations. There's too much political pressure to be woke. So now people are making films in the UK, in Canada.
It blows my mind that it's more affordable here.
Zealand, and South Africa and stuff, because there's tax incentives, and they're saying, look, make whatever movie you want. If you don't want black people in a 10th century Britannia movie, fine. If you don't want all the dudes, kissing each other in a friggin' Roman movie, fine. They don't care. They don't care, guys. And that's
they want a guy in a wedding dress.
Yeah. Did anyone watch Parks and Rec, the show?
Yeah.
Well, the actor who plays Ben Wyatt, he has a podcast that him and Rob Lowe do now and then.
Oh, okay.
And they had a thing where Rob Lowe was like, dude, we can't make movies in Hollywood. He goes, you'd be stupid if all of us were producers and we were going to make a movie. The last place we would make a movie is LA. He goes, it's not just the actors. He goes, the catering, the transportation, everything costs 20, 30, 40, 50% more because you're doing it in LA. How is it cheaper to fly everything over to Romania and make it over there? Guys, they're taking places like friggin' Prague and making it look like New York, and they're saving money. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's not only just cost of cost, but it's also the unions on unions on unions. Like you have no choices, right?
Thank you. And you know what else too? Just like this knucklehead Mom Dami and that communist broad in Seattle, what most of Canada, all the not even rich, but the successful people, not even rich, successful people who create jobs, who create wealth, are more mobile than they've ever been. There's nothing stopping anyone who makes a good amount of money from moving to a different state. This is why, once again, guys, and Trent knows. Trent, have you heard of Y'all Street in Dallas? Instead of Wall Street, guys, they have Y'all Street because so many people from Wall Street have moved to Texas. They've moved to Dallas. So many investment firms and people who manage these new.
Do you know the reason why?
Hold on, but they've packed their offices and moved to Dallas. And you don't think that the mayor of Dallas is saying, hey, guys, come on, gotcha. Come on down.
There's a specific regulatory reason why that is happening. New York City has a Fed branch, but so does Dallas.
Mm.
The whole reason that they are moving here is they've got to be, all those Wall Street people, it's cheaper here, but they need to be attached to a Fed branch. Dallas is essentially Dallas Fed's branch is beginning to replace the New York City Fed branch because you can do all the regulatory things that you needed to do to do high finance in New York City and be connected to Washington, D.C., you can do in Dallas because the Fed there is just as connected to the Fed in D.C. This is something that I've been watching for some years. I made some predictions to a friend of mine that this would happen when Mamdani came in, and sure enough, here it is.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Trent, so give us your whole take on the Canada thing, man. On how cooked Canada is.
Look, Canada and California have two things in common. They have huge exit taxes.
Yeah.
All right. This is a regulatory way of saying we have so screwed it up that our rich people are going to leave, so we're going to rob them on the way out.
Yeah, facts.
All right. When you have an exit tax on any municipality, that is a big red flag that we have so overregulated our economy that productive people are running away because they can make more money elsewhere.
Yeah. That'd be like saying, guys, would you get on a ship where they say, and by the way, we're going to charge you guys to get on the lifeboats? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you got to put money
like
in to
that Ryanair.
open up the life? Yeah, can you imagine? Would you guys get on that ship? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you see like a big lock that you have to put, like, you got to swipe your debit card to get onto the lifeboat.
Dude, and you gotta get out when you're young, like, because when you're older, you're stuck. Like you say, like if you got retirement savings, you're kind of stuck.
Well,
but when you're young, you can move. But also, like, there used to be tax incentives for families as well in Canada that have been totally removed. So we used to have, I don't know, do you guys typically have income splitting? You heard of this?
Oh, the income splitting, yeah.
So it's like, if you were a married couple, but one person worked and got 100,000 and the other one didn't work, you'd file your taxes as both making 50,000. So you get taxed in a lower bracket. Well, no, willy-nilly 1 year just removed that.
What?
So they voted that out several years ago. I've never been the benefit of that. And then also, so that no longer is there an incentive for a spouse to stay home. And then also, so you've got basically let's say a family with a single earner with multiple kids having to pay the same taxes as a single guy earning the same amount. Like, there's no incentive financially whatsoever.
That is certainly a financial disincentive to have kids.
Yeah.
If you want to have kids, leave Canada.
Yeah.
Well, they'll give you a little bit of money now and then just to keep.
Guys, who the hell lives up here? What is it?
Oh, I know.
People flying in and out.
Nama ding dong. What is this place up here? And then what's up there?
Polar bears mining uranium, diamonds, gold, silver, you name it. Lots of
probably a U.S. air base or two way up there.
And then
NORAD's up there too.
Yeah.
Why is Prince Edward Island its own thing and not part of Nova Scotia?
Because
somebody used to fight for borders.
They were a former colony under Queen Victoria's rule. Same with Nova Scotia. Sorry, Nova Scotia was too. That's part of the reason why you see Canada always, when the government wants to do all kinds of tests on its people, like, for instance, trying to scare everybody into thinking that there's wild dogs running around trying to harm them, or they have all their false flag attacks to try and get people's guns taken away. Why it always concentrated into Nova Scotia was because way back in 1867, when Queen Victoria screwed up or meddling in the U.S. Civil War when she sided with the Confederates for manufacturing, what ended up happening was Nova Scotia was the one colony that would actually have the ability and was very vocal and resisting being part of the former dominion that was Canada, never confederated under 1867. So they have always been the brute force attack for all the social experiments, because that's technically where a lot of former resistance parties were. And that's why
they treat Nova Scotia like how the UK government treats Liverpool. Because remember, Liverpool,
they're the experiments.
Yes. Guys, for all you guys who don't know, and anyone that's from the UK. Correct me. Liverpool has strong links to Ireland, right? There's a lot of the Scousers that have links to Ireland. So when the troubles were going on, right, and there was a lot of the attacks and stuff, there was a lot of the people in Liverpool were indirectly or just they were or just being neutral, quote about the Irish thing going on, right? They weren't pro. I mean, they were pro one Ireland. So Thatcher and all of them were basically starving out the people in Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, look, a lot of Scouse people tend to be like super woke. And I understand why. It's because they were the direct like victims of super like of the wrong side of conservative politics,
Yeah.
It was really bad. So I see why they kind of lean far, but even they can't really excuse what's going on in their country now. There's no way that anyone in their right mind can excuse what's going on in the UK. So, Venomous Omni, what? How can this be fixed? Like, other than act of God, like what?
Oh, I'll tell you the first thing. Well, sorry, I would say that all this, and this sounds trite to me, but the monarchy has to go because it's holding up and propping up a whole infrastructure of our parliamentary system that's totally corrupted, and it shouldn't be, and that's also, that's also made it bad. But I think the other thing too that's kind of missing in any of the discourse is, okay, so I've been my family's Canadian for at least 7 generations, and then another 5 or 6 before that in Northeast US. And so we've, I'd like to altruistically think, we've got a little more invested here, and yet we have to scrape out the same standard of living that somebody who just comes over on a boat and all the same opportunities and all the same. So it's kind of a strange scenario because Trudeau made it pretty clear that these old stock Canadians were basically has been left behinds, and that's been the way it's gone. But I think a lot of it's been propped up by corruption. I don't know the solution. Go ahead, Matt.
I know the solution. First of all, it starts with understanding what Canada actually is. I'm going to point this out, and because YT here doesn't know this. Most people in Canada do not know this. First of all, start learning about the website called themythiscanada.com or .ca, one of the two. What you'll have to understand is, Canada no longer had a monarch. The monarch system is dead. It's gone since 1901. The only thing in Canada that is actually owned by the monarch is the Canadian Forces. They are a British-controlled entity in order to enforce the loyalty of the people.
I was saying that earlier. That's great.
Okay. Now, what we have to understand is what happened was in 1867, the Confederation Act was put in place because Victoria was the one taking resources out of the Confederates because she was blowing up merchant ships for the Confederates and on their side and not the Unions, and she lost. So she had to pay all the people there because Abraham Lincoln was going to come into Canada and start annexing territory. So to make a long story short, she got us to pay for it. So that's why Prince Rupert's land all across the Western Canada here was all amalgamated under one dominion. It was not a Confederate. And then what ended up happening after that, because Queen Victoria was a serious 304, she was knocked up by her Scottish servant and had an illegitimate child. So in 1893, she sealed off the British North American Act under Section 2. That way, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, all part of the former Dominion, was now detached. So she was the only person now that had power over this. And then in 1901, she died. And then King George V, King George VI, mostly Fifth, realized that they lost control of all these resources. So they fooled the people into thinking that we still had a monarch. So through
a corporation, right?
No, well, it's not even so much a corporation anymore. It's just it's what it is just an economic entity. Okay, Canada is not a country. Neither is Australia and neither is New Zealand. None of these places are countries. If you go look up, you will not find a single piece of documentation that actually proves it's a country. Okay, so what ended up happening is George V fooled us, and in 1933, the Westminster Act again said that Canada had no monarch. Okay, Canada was free. We had two opportunities, not one, but two, to kick this government out and be our own self-governing system. We could have formed our own constitution and still screw it up. Okay,
most people don't know we don't have a constitution.
Yeah,
so
most people
hard
don't
enough
know
to hard
and
enough
then
to get across.
Yeah, so part of understanding
UK
is
doesn't
understand
either.
what Canada is. Okay, so Canada defines in the Justice Canada system that a person is a corporation, that Canada is, by definition, and their own legal definition, internal waters, territorial sea. That means we can have fully automatic machine guns, we can have cocaine and heroin. None of this stuff is illegal if and only if you're not on the water. Okay, most people don't understand that the PAL system that allows you to have a firearm in Canada is only for if you're on a river, a lagoon, or on the coastal edge. There is no Canada. And if that were true, and if it's not true, you explain this one to me. Why does Ottawa, the House of Commons, have to pay $3 million every year to the Ontario government for leasing space? That doesn't sound like eminent domain to you. United States has eminent domain of its land. Europe has eminent domain of their land because they have a monarch that's basically ruled everybody. Canada has no eminent domain. There is nothing here. What was left that you see as corporate is already owned by the United States since 1963. You go to sec.org and put in Canada, and you'll see a lot of things ran by the United States in Canada, ran from the United States.
Yeah.
The United States already owns us, and most people in Canada don't even know it.
Yeah.
Man.
No, I know most of that. That aligns well. I think too, I don't know. That's the real deep version. A super higher level version.
Yeah, anybody who's putting on a uniform for this country, I'm talking border security, CBSA, or conservation, RCMP, Transport Canada, or even the Canadian Forces, you're a traitor. You are a traitor. Okay. And the only reason why we have the police in this that way, we make sure that people aren't stealing, people aren't murdering each other, and so on and so forth, is because that was Victoria's rule. The only reason why the RCMP exists, because they were formed back in 1869, if I remember correctly, was to make sure nobody was uprising against Victoria, so the Dominion in this part of the area wouldn't fall. That way she could pay off all her dues to the United States for screwing up the Civil War on our backs. That's the only reason why the RCMP exists.
Well, I think they came into being at some point too to stop people from coming across from the U.S. to mess up the gold trade that was kind of nascent, at least in the far west.
That's not part of the reason. See, part of the reason we never had. See, this is what bothers me about this whole passports and stuff and borders. Prior to World War I, okay, before World War I was ever started off, okay, we never needed passports. We could walk back and forth into the United States. The United States can come back and forth to us, and we could just set up shop in Montana, for instance. That's kind of like what Louis Riel did during the Manitoba Métis Rebellion. They just set up shop there and lived peacefully. And all of a sudden, ever since the World War I took place and they brought in, we have to have papers to passports to go back and forth to our countries. All of a sudden, now we have all of this immigration nonsense on all of our countries, all of it. But we never needed it before. And that's part of the reason why I have some questions about the whole ICE thing. And should we maintain our borders? And yes, well, immigration should really be managed by the state, and that really should be managed by them, and not at a federal level because of all of this.
No, I completely disagree, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, tell me
when
why.
you're talking about World War I, World War II, look at post World War II and how much, with airplanes and airlines and all these other things popping up, travel is completely different in the mid to later 1900s than before. You used to have to take boats everywhere. Now the amount. All right, there's a thing that the FDA looks at, and it's if you are like a lab, right, and you develop a test to screen for one particular genetic disorder, right? Let's just say like Colin comes up with a way to detect, I don't know, some rare disease. And back in the 50s or 60s when he developed it, he only had like 5 patients a year, 12 maybe, right? But now we have things like, say, the internet, where people can email charts, or people can fly or Amazon over samples. Well, now instead of 12, he has 15,000. Now that has to be regulated, right? Because it's a brand new world. The original kind of legislation didn't factor in the fact that the way that samples would come in for this small lab would change. That's how travel in the world is. If you look at at post-war UK, where all these immigrants from the islands, from Jamaica, from Trinidad, from Nigeria, all moved to the UK. The largest human migration post-World War II has been from the Middle East to Europe. How? It's because it's so easy for people to travel now. So the reason why we didn't need passports as much and borders to actually be enforced is because people weren't going anywhere. It used to be like, you were
disagree with
a rich playboy to travel around the world because you had to be on a boat for however long to get across the Atlantic, and then if you could fly on a plane, that was a big deal. Now your Gloctavia can jump on Spirit Airlines and fly to the UK. You know what I'm saying? So I believe at a federal level now, especially with ICE, right, where we have this thing here where we've had Biden's administration literally opened up our borders and flooded our country with 20 million people. Now, Canada is different because you guys had both illegal and legal immigrants coming in. There was 2 years where Canada guys took in more legal immigrants than the United States did, which is absolutely insane. My point is, look at what Orange Man has done with our borders now, where he's at least led to negative net migration now. There's less people coming in than going out for the first time in 6-7 years. And that's going to help
6
us
or
out.
7 is more like 60.
Yeah. Trent, you were saying?
Well, there are a couple things. One is mail-in wire fraud. The crime is actually from the late 1800s when we had both mail and telegraphs. So, sending information by wire has been around a while. Now, orders of magnitude mean thing when it comes to bandwidth. But we didn't have passports before really the 1920s when we shut down immigration in the aftermath of World War I. And we had an immigration pause from basically the 1920s until the early 1960s when Ted Kennedy got an act passed that basically reopened mass immigration into the United States. We have been, as far as immigration is concerned, we're about 40 years overdue for a protracted pause in taking in people. The issue for immigration right now and illegals is we now have AI. AI enables the federal government to locate people very quickly and to locate welfare fraud and all sorts of fraud very quickly at scale to find people and deport them. The issue at the moment is the reason it's not happening is basically we have an ongoing judicial insurrection against the Supreme Court and Orange Man bad.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
That is something that is going to be resolved in the next few years, one way or another. And I think it is going to be in favor of deporting. And the recent Supreme Court decisions that suddenly made all of these temporary people, particularly the Haitians that came here illegally, they lose the protection. And not only do they lose the protection, but the laws that Orange Man Bad has been doing and administrative changes since he came into office mean if you came here illegally and stayed here illegally and did not take any effort to create a legal status and you lose TPS, you have to leave the United States and apply at a consulate to get back in. And you have to wait 10 years because you came here illegally.
Trent, it's Haitians and who else? There's like 300,000
Haitians,
and Syrians.
There are like three or four others.
Yeah.
But basically, TPS for the last 20 years has been TP permanent, and suddenly it's not, and that means hundreds of thousands of people who came in under those programs, who stayed here illegally, have gotten jobs, have gotten welfare. All right. This is another thing Orange Man Bad has done. He has, if you are a non-citizen, you are not eligible for federal welfare and you're not eligible for Medicare. One of the problems that California has right now is it's been using federal money to pay for medical care for non-citizens. And the U.S. government is tapping California's shoulder saying, hey, you got to give us all that money back last year that you put for illegal immigrants. And not only are we not giving you money this year, we're going back however many years the law allows, and we're telling you, you got to give me that money back. And this is why you're seeing California doing things like taxing people as they run away, because they got to pay for this some way.
Yeah. You guys know what I have to say about the Haitians and the Syrians, right?
That was so cruel. That was wonderful.
Get him out of here, guys. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to have the
Here's
same
a question that I had from earlier about the RCMP. I thought that the RCMP, it was all about the Fenian Brotherhood, the Fenian raids across the U.S. border into Canada that happened in 1866. I thought that was the big reason for the RCMP.
No, it's to ensure loyalty. They're just like the Tal Shiar of the Romulan Empire.
Oh man!
If you guys know Star Trek lore, the Tal Shiar are the worst of the worst, dude. They're the worst of the worst, So, but yeah, guys. We should be able to have the same border policy as Japan, Poland, or anyone else. It just doesn't make any sense that people in the United States care more about illegals, people who shouldn't be here, than homeless veterans and than their own citizens. It makes no sense. And
it makes a great deal of sense. Hold
on.
It's money.
Hold on. It's because of honestly Trump derangement syndrome. I used to think that was such an eye-rolling cliche thing to talk about, but it's true. If you don't believe that TDS is real, guys, there are people where you mention Orange Man at all and they flip out. Guys, there are people. Okay, you guys remember during that stupid halftime show with that freaking goofball Bad Bunny? How many white chicks and white people, old white, oh my God, the pageantry of Bad Bunny. They don't know who that Bad Bunny guy is. They didn't understand what he was saying. All it was that it became cool and woke circles to support this, and they thought that they were trying to stick it to Orange Man by saying that Bad Bunny is good. You cannot tell me that halftime show was, first of all, that it was any damn good, but they were trying to say that it was the best one ever. It was better than Michael Jackson, than Prince,
what
and
an insult.
Aerosmith. Are you serious? That's what TDS is, guys. That's
not
what
even
it
better
is.
than Madonna.
Yeah, is that they're trying to say that Bad Bunny was a better halftime show than Michael Jackson.
See any
That is
titties
utterly
on it.
delusional.
Come on, man.
That is just no. That was utterly delusional.
Yeah. Greg says, it's getting bad when Sandman say goodbye and that make Canadians in Mexico, and they say that it's a heavy tax country way more than the U.S. I didn't know that. Hey, thanks for the $5, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys, here, check this out quick.
Canada's immigration system has reached a breaking point. According to the Canadian Immigration Lawyers Association, years of backlogs and a lack of a national strategy could result in long-term consequences. So this all comes as Ottawa has started its plan to tighten our immigration rules and reduce residents over the coming years. We're joined this morning by Rick Lamanna. He's a partner at Freggeman Law and a board member of the Canadian Immigration Lawyers Association. Good morning.
Good morning, Emery.
Just to set this up for people, we have about half the applications in backlog, and the count of that backlog is at 1 million. How did we get to this point?
Pretty layered question. You go back to COVID. I think in more recent times, one of the issues really has been the cutback in staffing. So over a year ago, IRCC decided that it was going to reduce staffing levels to pre-COVID numbers. The problem with that is that the intake is not at pre-COVID levels.
Right.
And so, there's only so much you can do with so many people. I think that's a big part of it.
We know the government has announced its plans to reduce Canada's non-permanent residents, including international students, by less than 5%. That's what that.
5%. Oh, wow.
5%.
Oh, guys.
Rounding
error. My beating heart.
5% of 1 million.
Is supposed to be by 2027. So this is part of addressing housing and infrastructure issues. At least that's what they said. Yet our colleagues in universities are financially struggling because of lack of tuition from international students. We're now competing for talent in AI and in research. So what policies need to shift to ensure that we can attract?
How about you train your native population to fit those?
That's a whole nother story.
Dude.
You can't train them. You can't train them to do jack shit. Okay. I have been all over Manitoba. I've flown all the way up north to the Nunavut border and back down all over the place. Okay. The kind of craziness, mayhem you have seen there and stupidity would blow your mind. AJ, I once had to fly up to, Puckatawagan twice, which is like northern Manitoba there. All right. Just to move an antenna post 12 feet over and then to go back again another year to put it back to where it was just because we just didn't like it. All right. That was where the northern airports where you can't even get anywhere except flying or ice roads. Okay. You can't reason with some of these people, let alone put them to work.
I'll tell you the programs that the federal government has in place right now to help train and retrain is laughable because they're like all like carbon decarbonization economy, how to train oil and gas workers to work in the decarbonization economy. There's like ads everywhere for it. It's pretty crazy.
I'm sorry, but the idea that any sort of renewable energy source is going to replace the concentration of the energy density of fossil fuels is just delusional on a number of levels. And don't get me started.
Guys, here, just really fast. Check this out. So, guys, watch. Okay, this is everything wrong with America here. Watch. So, guys, watch. They're chasing Nug.
Get out of the way, sir! Get out of the way!
Homeboy had a gun.
People facing away from us. DeAndre, you got a warrant. Step out.
Okay.
Open the door from the outside and step out of the vehicle.
Okay.
Who's DeAndre?
Now, of course, Nug runs. Just a good old dude driving. Okay. Now, okay. You guys, watch this. They tackle Nug. Oh, we gotta watch this thing, David. They tase him.
Headed towards Pick and Save. Headed towards Pick and Save.
Let me send the dog. Look out.
Stop and run, dude.
Kill the crowd. Kill the crowd.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Let's go. Merry Christmas, guys. Get him. Sure. You guys, watch. Okay, this is now. We'll watch the whole thing in its entirety at the end. Guys, watch. So do you see? Okay, now watch this person.
Screwed. No, hard, DeAndre.
So they put Nug in the car.
Okay.
And watch this idiot.
Yeah. He just broke my door. Stop kicking. Logan, you got the rap?
Oh, here. Watch.
Yelling, swearing.
Watch this guy right here. These are two random bystanders, have nothing to do with anything.
God.
Right? Oh, yeah, we know where this is going. Watch.
One of them. Am I with him? No, they're with.
What's your name?
Sheriff Walshman. All right, just take deep breaths.
What y'all need this? And we just watched y'all push his car with the squad car after he's over here.
He has like a dozen warrants. He's been involved in multiple high-speed chases.
Look at this. Okay.
I like how that just doesn't matter.
How dare you? Guys, see? Okay. In the same way that I don't blame 304s, I blame simps, right? Guys, it's not even Nug's fault as much as it's idiots like this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's idiots like him and Karens and these liberal idiots. Now, guys, here's the thing. Once again, guys, I'm not even doing backflips for the cops because the cops were doing their job. Homeboy had multiple warrants. He has a gun and the car. He's on a high-speed chase. At what is going on? Watch.
He got. Hang on a minute. I'm explaining. Focus on breathing.
I can't breathe. What is that?
Oh, the rat.
What is the
Comes the dog collar.
They would rather show up for this guy than a homeless veteran, right? Than a child who's in foster care. You know? Oh no. They would rather put effort to try and help Nug.
And then he ran over here, and then y'all moved his car after he was in the back of that squad.
We pushed it out of the road.
With the squad car. That's damage. That's called criminal damage to property. If I move
And
a
they're
car
allowed to
with
do
my
that
car
as
because something
police.
else is in the way.
Not your concern. That's his concern.
It astounds me. It astounds me. These people act like these police officers are not actually like police officers that are, assigned to enforce the law.
Yeah.
You know, like they're just guys riding around with shotguns that are just vigilantes.
Yeah, and here's the thing, guys. The police are necessary, but they're not your friends. I said this 1,000 times, guys. I'm not anti-cop. I'm pro-good cop, anti-bad cop, guys. The police are not your friends. They're not. But, guys, once again, let the police do their jobs. Guys, if you see Nug or Gloctavia or Methany getting tackled, guys, mind your own damn business. Or you're going to end up like that stupid broad in Minneapolis. Or whatever that idiot's name was.
Kill the guy on the subway train.
Yeah,
Hey, I got to duck out. You guys have a good night.
All right, my friend. I appreciate you.
Adrenaline dump of my life. He was driving like a bat out of hell, dude. It was probably the craziest driving I've seen. First ever successful TASER deployment.
There we go.
So we have an obligation to open a roadway too. All right.
Oh, open a roadway. Who can come through here? Come on.
Look, is he at least good in the squad car?
All right. Well, you guys can tell, like, they're in their little Facebook groups, right? And they're like, oh, wait, I can post this on. I've been waiting my whole life for this. Now I can make this all about me.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I saw poor Nug get attacked by the cop. But I made sure that I questioned those police officers. I made sure that I held them accountable by holding my phone out and harassing them. I'm so amazing. Please. What
I mean, they call him like pawn nug because they're just using like that person as a pawn basically.
Yeah,
That guy
yeah,
doesn't give a damn. He doesn't care.
Hey, it's him. I mean,
hear him probably kicking and screaming. And you could hear him probably kicking and screaming and banging and knocking around. What's that?
Can you stop inching up?
No, I can keep. I'm talking to you.
See, but if I inch up on you, it's different. You tell me to back.
What the fuck is going? I try to not swear.
This guy is emboldened. Yeah.
What is he talking about?
And
My camera's rolling too.
she asked you politely to back up, and you
There's
keep
15 feet between
and
us.
literally, I was right there when the
Tell you
conversation.
what, if you want to leave, you're welcome to leave. If you want to leave, you're
get
welcome
that,
to
y'all
leave.
Get that badge, you know, act like you're something special, like the law don't apply to y'all.
oh, hey. Michael.
Michael, what?
I can't. Mama, I was in the car.
I'm just nosy. Oh my god!
okay.
He
I
tries
got my
to play
camera
that
rolling,
card.
Like you act
And
like the
we
badge
actually
don't
want
apply
to
to us.
talk
But if you
about
ask
it.
us to back up and we don't, we get taken to the ground and put in cuffs. Doesn't matter if
Everything-
he had a warrant. He made mistakes. Congratulations. Y'all just made a mistake down there because if I do that,
Guys,
that's one of
don't
the
ever be this
No.
guy.
Yeah, thank you, Snow.
Don't ever be that guy. Come on,
Don't
guys.
ever.
It's
This
just
is a
not-
good way to get yourself in jail for
Yeah.
interfering with
Yeah.
police.
I'm serious, guys.
Because he's an antagonizer who isn't even involved in anything, so he's being even way more of an idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just causing like they're actually. Let's say that he did really care about the guy on the ground. If he was saying he can't breathe and stuff, wouldn't you want the cops and everybody to attend to him instead of you just being a distraction in the whole scene of everything, trying to insert yourselves? You know what I mean?
In
It's like
Wisconsin.
being, yeah. So this.
I think it's like
This is just crazy.
yeah, this is in Milwaukee, so yeah, this is a woke area, you know.
Yeah.
Come on, Fond du Lac County. This is right near Oshkosh. Yeah. This is the wokey woke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything, but you just
But
said
I'm
things
saying to
that we-
help, the best thing is to just stay out of the way and mind your own business so you
Yeah.
can let other people get in there and do what they need to do and stop like inflaming the situation
Yeah.
and
Keep
stuff.
on
and just-
walking.
exactly. Yeah. Just
And you
let
see-
other people take care of it.
That's, I would even say in any given situation, if you see some nug going upside Octavia's head, guys, keep walking. If Methany is getting pile drive by freaking Cletus,
Yeah.
guys, keep on walking. If the cops tackle someone, guys, just keep. It has nothing to do with you guys. You do not want to invite the police into your life at all unless you need to. Unless you're trying to call them for help. And I'm not anti-cop. But what I am saying is that there's too many variables going on to where it's bad enough if you have to have them there, but you're gonna voluntarily have them in your life.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh no. Yeah, no. In fact, that's that never let the police officer of any kind know what the sound of your voice sounds like.
Facts.
Okay.
Guys,
Another
hit the like
thing
button,
is,
please.
in the United States, if you keep getting bugged by the police, if you're not going to stay completely silent, as in not letting them know what their sound of your voice is, you just tell them this. Either, okay, I'm just going to exercise my Fifth Amendment right to stay silent, or I've been advised by an attorney to not speak. And that's it.
Well,
That's it.
That is not something you can do.
Yes, thank you, guys. Miranda is your right to remain silent. The Fifth applies in court, not on the street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trent, you were saying?
I've seen lawyers that told me a different story about that one, though. AJ.
There are also other things. For example, if you get hit, if you get swatted for a mental health or a domestic violence call, you got to talk, but you've got to talk the police down. All right. I've been victimized by a mental health call by my ex. At least I think that's who did it. And I had
Probably,
3
right?
police cars.
That's probably who did it, right, Trent? I mean, come on, right?
I can't tell. I can't say for sure. All I know is that someone did.
Yeah.
All right. And this was 3 days after she filed. I had 3 police cars, an EMS unit, and a fire truck sitting outside my house that my wife had taken my kids from.
Damn.
And I had to talk these guys down, prove to them that I wasn't fragging crazy. And oh, by the way, I didn't want to go to Parkland to see the nice mental health professionals.
Man. Yeah,
Right?
yeah. That sounds
And
like you're
I called my lawyer. He didn't answer till the next day. And I wound up calling the local precinct house and said, look, my address is the location of an ongoing, very toxic divorce. If you get any more calls here, is because there is a really, really bad divorce going on. So that, for any further calls, this is what's going to happen. And I had my lawyer follow up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to talk. And I was stuck in one of those situations. Understand.
Well, that was to bail yourself out from when you're guilty. So you had to actually kind of simp and do work. You had to actually work with them because what else are you going to really do?
Well, the policemen have a job to do. All right. I wasn't resisting. I wasn't doing anything but making jokes and asking, why aren't you going out and arresting my wife who ran off with my kids? Said, oh, no. You got to wait 30 days. Then you can make a report.
Yeah.
I mean,
wow.
Understand there are times you don't impeach yourself by talking too much. All right.
Yeah.
You say
In
as
other
little as possible.
in other words, don't be a woman. Oh.
AJ,
Don't be a
that's
B-dub.
your lane, not mine. All I can tell you is you don't say things that impeach yourself. You say as little as possible, and you ask them questions and make them talk to you.
Yeah. Guys, once again, the police, guys, 80% plus of cases are pled out. Guys, they just want the cases closed. There's a quota they have to fill where they're closing X amount of cases, and they don't care how. So, guys, oftentimes they do things where, guys, jail is so uncomfortable because they want you that they take you there, and it's as uncomfortable as possible. It's cold, or they don't have AC in it. And it's hot. They keep the lights on all the time. The food's extra trash, right? Because they want you to actually say, you know what? Even though I didn't do this, we're going to scare you and say, well, Colin, we know that you didn't do it, but if you go to court, you might get found guilty and get the maximum. So you just plead out to a lesser charge, a third-degree felony, or misdemeanor, and your time served, and you'll only have blank on your record, even though you didn't do anything. If we truly want true criminal justice reform, everyone would just go to trial. Everyone, because they don't have the resources, they don't have the manpower, they don't have the money to have every single case go to trial. The worst thing that could possibly happen to the American criminal justice system is if everyone decided to go to trial. They'd be cooked. They would be cooked. They'd be absolute bedlam. Yeah.
Well,
So-
I can say that is true because I had a misdemeanor domestic violence charge filed on me amongst everything else. Found this out a couple months later when my kid walked up from my wife's house with the summons from the court because when she filed it, I was living at my address and not the rental I'm currently in. So I went and got a lawyer. I paid him $3,500, and he went down to the courthouse and asked to see the file from the attorney for the city of Dallas. And the guy took one look at the thing. Said, you're going to fight it? He said, yeah. Yes. And he said, dismissed. I had, I was out $3,500. And
That saved you a ton of time, though.
prejudice.
Yeah.
But because if it went to trial court and he'd have to defend my wife's position, he didn't want to do it. And he threw it away. So that cost me $3,500 for nothing. It was, and in the state of Texas, wives can file and women can file domestic violence charges on men, and you have to go to court. So, I had enough money to defend myself. There are a lot of guys that can't pull out $3,500 on a when they need to. And that is the way the system is.
Yeah.
It's not fair, but justice rarely is. Over to you.
Yeah. Well, but that's one of the reasons why their spaces like ours, guys. And once again, I haven't done Courtroom Madness in a while, because every Thursday we used to do Courtroom Madness, where we look at these courtroom footage things of these guys, and guys, they're in, family court, paternity court, and they think that they're going to get a fair shake. And they go to Kinko's and make their copies, guys. You know what I'm saying? And they get their manila folder and walk into court thinking that they're going to get custody, that they're going to get treated fairly. That gavel lands, and finally they realize
you've been had, you've been took, you've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
They got cooked. They got absolutely cooked. Guys, if any man's in court, any court, you're screwed. Family court, paternity court, small claims court, you're basically cooked. You know what I mean? And this is why, guys, we will cover the lead attorney talking to that Christian TradCon goofball about, he's like, well, I don't think men want to fight for their kids. And the lead attorney says, no. This is why, because most lawyers say, look, there's two things that you can do. You can either pay me your whole retirement and I can fight and you're going to lose, or you can just take what the court gives you, because either way, you're going to get cooked.
Look, I've spent north of 80 grand in the divorce on legal fees.
Jesus.
And,
wow.
All that got me was 20 days of the 40 that my wife stole from me for my kids in 2025. And it got me extended child coverage. Basically, it works out to be about 30 days in the course of a year for going forward. But I'm still, 1 month in the summer, and every first, third, and fifth weekend of a month. And I alternate Christmases and Thanksgivings. And I didn't get more than that. And what I got was much better than what most men get, because I could afford an attorney. And I still got cooked, and she got cooked on the order of 50 grand. But she still wound up with the kids more than 3/4 of every year.
I have I have a courtroom thing that we can go over soon. This guy, the mom's trying to adopt the kid out from under him. And that happened to a friend of mine. His last night before he moved, so he got a promotion, and they asked him to move out to Northern California. He was down in Louisiana. So his last night there, he went to the bar, he met some random chick. And shot out of the club, right? Well, like 14 months later or 13 months later, she's like, Mike, is this you? He's like, yeah, who the hell are you? She's like, I'm that one chick that you met. And yeah, I need you to sign this paperwork. So because this rich family is going to adopt your kid. And he's like, wait, what? I have a son? She's like, yeah, but I need you to sign this. He's like, no, I'm not signing anything. Give him to me. So he went through his entire retirement, guys. Pulled out his whole retirement to get a lawyer, and he lost. And now the family on his son's birthday every year sends him a card with his son's pictures. That was 8 years ago. His son's almost 10 years old.
Wow.
He's never seen him except in pictures. And the mom was getting like 40 grand. So she didn't want to stop it, or else she'd have to give the money back.
So it's basically the state sort of like holding a kid hostage.
Yeah.
From the father or
Messed
kids.
up, man.
several
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
It's extortion.
Yep.
It's
act
it's a
backwards in the beginning.
subscription
You've never had a
fee to be a father is all
Yeah.
that it is. A subscription fee to be a father.
Yep, it's true.
See, you're still doing it. You're still doing it. That's that powder chest. That's nothing but dust. It's nothing
This
but
guy
a
getting
uniform.
emboldened now talking all
Have a
this
good,
shit.
better afternoon.
Powder and a metal.
I think we're taking an email.
Powder and a metal.
No, he got tased. Should have got bit. That really sucks.
No.
I don't know what he was.
What was this guy over here? Was he just pissed that?
Yeah,
I
don't know what he was.
Is it his car?
No.
Yeah, it reeks like fresh weed back here.
Nope.
He wasn't using those.
You're gonna have to owe me a big fat dinner, dude.
I will. I genuinely feel bad.
The suspect is being transported to jail after hospital treatment, but he still appears to be up to no good.
What's your problem with me? I don't got on no shoes. I don't.
No other way.
I'm just saying we could have waited until he got up in there. You put me in like I'm cold all over again. I'm hot in a bit.
You want window down or up?
What the you mean the window down or up?
You said you're hot.
I said I'm cold in a. I ain't said I'm hot in a. I said, I said I'm hot. Like, come on, man. Like the least you can do is like even have a heart dog treat me horribly for no reason.
Hey, we got your phone.
Who smashed my phone?
I didn't smash it. What you got in your butt?
You said what?
You got stuff in your ass or what?
You said what? Man, you driving crazy, man. I like sticking some shit up my eyes, man. You're not even making no sense.
Usually people when they're moving like that, they're hiding stuff. I mean, I don't think so because you probably would already dipped into the hospital. But
oh my god.
That's what happened.
The screaming man eventually calmed down and is reportedly attending city council meetings complaining the sun is too bright. Both the suspect's vehicle and the victim's vehicle were towed from the scene. The suspect, identified as DeAndre Bradshaw, was charged with fleeing or eluding an officer causing bodily harm or property damage. 2 counts of first-degree recklessly endangering safe. Andre was found guilty of fleeing or eluding an officer causing bodily harm or property damage, and 2 counts of felony bail jumping following no contest pleas. Additional charges were dismissed but read in as part of a plea agreement. DeAndre was sentenced to 5 years of prison and 5 years of extended supervision. The felony bail jumping sentences run
Crazy. Anyways, so guys, the UK, right? Guys, the UK is absolutely cooked. Guys, it's an absolute travesty how bad that the UK is, right? And you look at the news and everyone's like, it's the far right to say that somehow that migrants shouldn't be in our country. It's like, what are you talking about? And guys, let me make it kind of clear, right? There's a different issue in the UK than there is here or in Canada. Okay? I'll tell you why.
Tier policing.
Huh?
It's called 2-tier policing.
No. Guys, people in the UK, Brits, well, there's British, that's a nationality. Then there's English, Scots, Welsh, and Irish. Those are ethnicities. There's no reason why an English person should not be able to say, I would prefer that England remain a majority English.
Yeah.
Just like the Japanese can say, we would prefer that Japan remains Japanese.
Yeah.
Or the Mongolians can say the same thing. Or the Polish, right? Why not? Now, it's different here because in the United States and Canada, there's no ethno-national standard, right? Anyone can come to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the United States legally and become a citizen, okay? The United States is the gold standard in that we don't really ask much for you to be American. Just come here legally, take the citizenship test, and you're good. You know what I mean? But guys, Colin, Matt, Trent, and I cannot move to China and be Chinese. Yeah. Even if somehow we were stupid enough to try and get Chinese citizenship, we will never be Chinese. We will never be Japanese. We will never be Vietnamese. It's not happening, right? So why is it that the Europeans, because guys, English, Germans, French are not white people. White is a very American construct. White, black, Asian, race is a kind of made up thing that kind of comes from the United States, right? Because we go by national identity and then racial identity. We don't go, yes, Evil Eddie, yes. Indigenous peoples of the British Isles. That's what it says. I told you guys that I was on the plane ride home from Ireland, and this Irish guy, he was talking to me, and he was kind of like probing what my political beliefs were. And then I was like, no, I think you guys need to close Ireland's borders, and Ireland needs to be for the Irish. And he was kind of taking it back. I'm like, bro, you know how it was like, oh, the indigenous peoples of North America, the natives, like, you guys are the indigenous people to Ireland. And he goes, I've never thought of it that way. It's like, you need to protect the indigenous peoples of the British Isles. Why is it that the Asians can say, we want Thailand to be Thai, we want Vietnam to be Vietnamese, we want Cambodian, whatever, but the Europeans can't have the same standards? Why? Anyone make that make sense? It just, there's more of a justified reason to demand assimilation in Europe than in the United States, because there's a firm ethno standard in Europe, and for some reason the UK, France, they have less. They don't believe in assimilation at all. Well, the liberal governments don't. They have a native language, a native culture that needs to be protected. And they are the ones who are working the most to destroy it. It makes no sense. So
thank you for joining me. I was down at Lambeth Bridge this morning and speaking to people. Clearly a huge consideration, not just with how they are feeling, but also, I guess, where they think their country is headed, was immigration. And not just the volume of people coming through, but what it is doing to the culture of their country. And to say that it's a big concern would probably be understating the problem. Is that your sense of things?
It is an understatement. For many people, this is an existential crisis. It's a struggle for the very soul of Britain. And, you just have to go up and down the spine of this country, from the old sort of mill towns in the north of England down to London. People's communities have been completely changed beyond all recognition within the space of one generation. We've had more immigration to Britain in the last 20 years than in the last 2,000 years combined. And no society can sustain such rapid change.
So if you think it's crook here, you're basically telling Australians we should be on guard.
Yeah, honestly, look to what's happening in Britain and understand the lessons that can be learned.
The left say that multiculturalism is a good thing.
Well, barely a week goes past when you don't have a politician or a police commissioner saying diversity is our greatest
correct,
our greatest
great strength.
Yes. I'm afraid we've had the experiment. There's no evidence for it whatsoever. And this is not an attack against immigration per se. This is about mass immigration. This is not an attack on having some diversity. Of course, some diversity is good, but it is the level of super diversity we have today that is fraying the social fabric of this country. We have stopped celebrating Western culture and Western civilization. We've engaged in cultural relativism. And because we are prioritizing and promoting minority culture.
Does everyone know what cultural relativism is?
Oh, yeah, baby.
But besides Trent, does everyone know who cultural relativism is?
No, I've
never heard of that term before.
cultural relativism says, oh, it's okay to chop off part of a woman's private parts because that's just their culture. It's okay that they marry underage people because that's just their culture. It's okay, I don't know, that the Soviets starve people because that's just their culture. You know, it's basically saying that you can't talk bad about something that something's not universally bad because they just have a different culture than us. So everyone on this panel would agree that, for instance, doing bad things to kids is wrong, right? Yeah. But there are people who would argue, well, there's just cultures around there. We aren't. Some cultures aren't better than others. So who are we to tell them what's wrong is wrong? And it's one of the things that wokey and liberals. It's crazy that like liberals want to import people who are diametrically opposed to their own values and who are the most intolerant people on earth, but will be okay with their intolerance because they're from a different culture. So they'll say, oh, the conservative Christians don't like gay people, but the Muslims who come over who hate gay people even more, that's okay because that's their culture. And you see the inconsistency there?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Speaking of that, there he is, right? There he is. What's up, Anonymous? You got just in time when we started talking about the UK, man. You know what I'm saying?
Anonymous. I literally just got home from work, and I'm ready to make muskets great again. So,
there you go. Hey, here, Anonymous. Here, the floor is yours, man. Because this guy, he's based and he's talking about the migration. Can you just give everyone, just catch people up on what's going on in the UK right now as an Englishman?
Well, it's just that it's basically like, guys, it's just this liberal experiment has just failed. It's a complete catastrophic failure on every front. Like, it's just, to me, it's all of these people think that the humans are like a holotype. You know, it's just like anyone, you can just move someone somewhere onto magic soil, and then somehow they are magically turned into a civilized person. And it's like, that's not how it works. It's like, you actually look at people who in the past who went to these places, which have, all of these people have been dumped on our doorstep. The most awful horrors you could imagine were going on there, where people were shocked. And now for some reason, these people want them here. It's not like you let in like an Indian guy who's like a doctor, you know, or someone who's like very productive. These are literally, I'm not joking, guys, like these people wandering around places like London are literally savages.
Yeah.
Literally, they have IQs of 75. They're so stupid they can't even do up shoelaces.
And this is how crazy that the UK government is. There was a guy who essayed a young girl, one or two young girls, and his lawyer's defense was, well, it's okay in his country, and he just didn't know he couldn't do that, so it's not his fault.
And that's what's so disturbing, is that like English people used to go to these backwater places and just go like, no, we're not doing that anymore. We're dragging you. Yeah, exactly.
They used to go in there and kick some ass and take some names.
No, we're not putting women in cages and, you know, burning them alive and doing all these other evil things. No, sorry.
Yeah,
like, not happening. And I'm for actually, you know, I'm for the expansionists coming into production again and going to these places and taking them over, because we've given it back to them and they've turned these places into dumps.
I feel like, well, I think everyone here on the panel's white except me, guys. You guys know how pathetic the whole white guilt is that these liberals, especially these white chicks, do. oh, I'm just so I can't stand the fact that I'm white and there should be less white people. You guys have heard these little women say this. I honestly think that the UK suffers from like the most extreme version of that, where like our colonial history and what we've done around the world and what we've done. So they think it's okay for them to let themselves get caught like reverse colonized. You know what I'm saying? And how many times have we heard these things to, and Anonymous is seeing this. Actually, it's all about Jim Crow in Redlaw. There was no Jim Crow in the UK, you dunce. There was no slavery in the British Isles, you moron. What are you talking about?
No, in fact, there's rules. There's actually laws still on the books that say if a slave ever comes to the UK, they're immediately freed under our law. Like,
British liberals use the same talking points as the wokey-wokes here. British B-dubs use the same talking points. The race hustlers in the UK use the same talking points as these knuckleheads here. And here's the thing. Hey, guys, guess what? Islam is not a race. What are you talking? That's the biggest okie doke that the British public have fallen for. Is saying, oh, if you criticize a religion, all of a sudden you're a racist.
And Muhammad, by the way, actually said slavery is okay.
It just doesn't make any sense about how I've never seen a culture other than France, because as bad as the UK is, France is even worse. They just don't talk about it much. The news doesn't get out. But guys, you've seen pictures of Eiffel Tower around there. But guys, I've never seen a civilization so hell-bent on destroying itself other than maybe like the USSR or China during the mid-1900s. You know what I'm saying?
Look, there's a political reason that you're seeing all of this mass migration into England. Labour and the Tory grandees got together after Margaret Thatcher and said,
I'll be right back, guys.
We're never going to allow this happen in England again. So they started bringing in a replacement population. So you couldn't get the shopkeeper class and the Tories and the working class from Labour to get together again and push the Labour leftists out and the Tory grandees out and put in someone like Thatcher again. It's always been about that power. Everything else is just cover for that friggin' power grab.
Well, yeah, it's the inner party. Like they're exactly the same. They're the same party. You either get to pick red or you get to pick blue.
Yeah, I mean,
and their policies are identical. They're identical.
Oh, yeah, I mean, look, the stuff that you're seeing in Northern Ireland. I was wargaming this stuff a year ago because there was enough coming out on the internet in various places to say something is going to go down. I thought it was going to be in Liverpool first rather than Northern Ireland. But by gum, I mean, when you look at what happened in Northern Ireland, you had the Ulstermen and you had the Provos get together because there were a couple of young girls that got beheaded before this latest guy was. And the Ricky or whatever that unit of the British government that goes around and intimidates the white victims of the Islamists to say,
I'll remember what it is in a minute. I know the one you're talking about.
The Provos and the Ulstermen got together after word got around.
The Nudge Unit. They're called the Nudge Unit.
Yeah, the Nudge Unit. The Nudge Unit. Word got around in Northern Ireland, and those two militias cooperated, and they had a plan ready to go when this guy got his eyes gouged out and nearly had his head cut off.
Oh yeah, that poor disabled guy.
A couple of weeks
ago.
All that
the
was
stuff
crazy.
that happened afterwards was organized, and there was stuff that was coming on the internet that looked like there's stuff about to go down. I thought it was going to happen in either Liverpool or Glasgow because that's where more Irishmen are in England than anywhere else.
Do me a favor and follow me on TikTok because I need like 3 more followers. And I can do live streams over here, and then we can go live on her and clown people on TikTok. So guys, here, follow me over here on TikTok, guys. I need 3 guys. Make a TikTok account and follow me here. And then we could also do TikTok invasions too. So yeah, guys, follow me over here because I need 3 more people. So guys, yeah, go over there. And then guys, I'm gonna have my next sponsored video out on Friday. It'll be right before July 4th. So guys, once again, make sure to give that a couple views and a couple clicks, guys. My sponsor had decided to keep me on because the engagement. So thanks for that. And guys, I actually got a new sponsor too. So, and that's all because of you guys. So thanks for that, guys. I appreciate you guys. I really, really do, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Trent, you were saying? Sorry, I don't have to do.
No, there was enough stuff showing up in a lot of places on the internet saying that there was going to be some sort of violent reprisal coming from the indigenous populations of the greater UK against the imported Islamists. And one of the things that we war gamed was this friend of mine that I've known for 20, 30 years. He comes out of the FEMA side of the world. Looked at this, and one of the things was, when things break down, you're going to have basically ethnic separation. And when that happens, the Islamist areas are going to be lawless, and no one is going to drive a truck there because they'll be killed and their stuff stolen. So that's going. And given that the Labour government has destroyed the British militaries, there's no discretionary internal security that can restore things. So what we looked at was, well, we'll see the British police, because the 2-tier standard wherein they're suppressing the indigenous population so the Islamists can keep doing their bloody stuff.
I don't understand what their end game is. This is the one thing I don't really understand. Like these people who are in power right now, because you see it in the US, like with Ilhan Omar and people like that, right? As soon as these people take over a certain area of a country, they start putting their own people in there. And it seems to be a lot of these Labourite people are just useful idiots to get these people in, and then they just get replaced. And you see it in towns where there's a whole bunch of them who are like Muslim or Indian or whatever, right?
Labour was a little short of smarts on the people that they brought in, because every time that you bring in a population of a sufficient size from that background, they organize their own stuff and they create their own political parties, which they have done in England.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to say this, but guys, one thing that these groups are better at doing is organizing. Guys, look at the Somalis in Minnesota. Guys, you remember that we looked at the number of the Somalis. How many people are Minnesota guys on?
About 110,000 people that basically control the entire state.
They too are on TPS, and they too just got lost.
Yeah, guys, there are 5.8 million people in Minnesota, and there's like 123,000 Somalis. So they have managed with that many people to control the state because they are so organized and so condensed and so
well, they control Madison. They control the vote for Madison.
These people just seem to have a hive mind. I don't know what it is. It's just like they all get behind this one thing, and they're just not. I don't know what it is. It's just a lack of individuality.
No. Listen, they have strong cultural and religious ties. What I'm saying is, we used to have that here more. We used to, guys. Look at the South. Look at these areas. Because look at these, like, you used to have the counties and cities and families and stuff where the church or whatever was the main focal point of the area. Everyone knew each other. If there was someone walking through the town, they're like, wait, who's this guy? We used to have that here. Okay, here, guys. A friend of mine is Indian, right? And he was like, yeah, I have to fly back to India for like a wedding. And Indian weddings are huge. hundreds of people, blah blah blah. And my other friend, one of my coworker, goes, "Man, I wish that we would have had those here." And I'm like, "We used to have those here. You used to go to the South. The daughter was one of like 14 kids. The grooms, I mean the bride's one of 12. The groom's one of 11. All the families got there'd be hundreds of people at the wedding. But we've gone away from that. We've become more individualistic and not you're collectivist in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? Collectivism isn't just like communism or any other stuff. Collectivism means your neighborhood, your county, your town, where everyone knows each other. You know what I'm saying? So my girl's from small town Pennsylvania, where everyone still knows each other. Everyone knows each other. You guys know that you're from a small town when everyone says first and last name. You know what I'm saying? I saw Stephen Jones. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know you're in a small town. But those areas, people know each other, and it's more of a community. But that's how the Somalis are, and who are the people who they found out in California? The Armenians, right? You guys remember Nick Shirley found out the Armenians were doing the same thing as the Somalis. They have their religious centers and their cultural centers. Guys, what do you think that they're doing there? They're spreading the message. They're communicating. They're making sure they're all on the same page. And that's how things used to be. That's how the Mormons are in Utah. They're the same way. The Mormons operate the same way as the Somalis do. The J-Dubs operate the same way as the Somalis do. The Seventh-day Adventists operate the same way. So, Trent, you were saying?
The issue with, and you talked it completely through. The Islamist community is organized around its mosques and around its clans and tribes. All right, it's a blood tie and a religious tie. And when they show up as a community, all right, individual people from Islamic culture can assimilate. But when you bring them over as a large group simultaneously, you bring their culture with them.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
The issue that Labor blew was they brought specific whole communities from South Asia and planted them in London and elsewhere. And they have driven out everyone else out of those areas. And the whole grooming thing was very much in there. And the votes of those people were so important for Labor, they literally created a two-tier policing system.
Yes. Trent said this the best. They literally said, and Anonymous can chime in here, that white men will be judged, white Christian men are judged more harshly for crimes than women. And what is it called? BAME, black. Was it? What does BAME stand for?
Got to ask Anonymous on that one.
No, BAME is Black, Asian, and minority ethnic. Is their term they use over there
for people of color? Okay,
it's
yeah.
Stupid. Yeah, it's a stupid term. But as they literally said that white men will be judged more harshly. But here, check this out, quick, guys. Watch.
What went terribly wrong? A search for what went terribly wrong. A small plane crashing just short of the runway. This is in Tourcoing, France. No survivors at all.
She looks like she's been up on a freaking coke bender for the last couple of days, right? Look at this chick.
Some of the families on board saw it all. Local 10's Glenna Milberg reports.
Just after and 10 people.
Wait, I thought they were talking about the heat.
Do
Hold on.
Plunged vertically.
Didn't even have the right story. Guys, basically, there's people all over Europe that are literally cooking to death. Watch. Look.
As for the rest of Europe, well, the heat wave has been nothing short of scary. In Italy, it got to 36.9 degrees Celsius in the northern city of Alessandria. 16 cities there have been issued.
What is that in Fahrenheit, guys? I don't know. Is that hot?
It's hotter than a mofo.
It's a 100-degree day in Dallas. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, 98.4 degrees. And they have no AC, guys. None. That's a spicy meatball. Oh!
Not only do they not have AC, they've made it a cultural thing that we're superior for not having AC because we're saving the environment.
Thank you.
God help them.
Thank you. We're going to go green and invest in all this stuff. And you guys, there's they're talking about how Germany screwed up their whole economy by pushing more Green New Deal stuff than anyone else. They almost
destroyed the Greens, destroyed
They can only have
nuclear plants in
Guys,
Germany.
one at a time. Whoever wants to go, but I can't have you guys
The
talk.
Greens destroyed the nuclear plants in Germany, and they destroyed a lot of the coal-fired plants. And they're in the process of trying to dig some sort of canal to fill up coal mines with water so they can't be ever used for coal again. I mean, talk about insane crazy.
Yeah. Matt, you were saying?
I'm just saying that they wasn't there. I thought it was Germany that passed legislation where they can't have furnaces and stuff, that they have to use heat pumps. Not sure if that was true or there was some discussion about that somewhere.
Let's see.
Could be wrong.
On, guys. There's a thing. Here's a video. Green energy is bringing about industrial collapse for Germany. Germany's $500 billion mistake. Guys, this is a really good video right here. This is really, really, really good.
Not a mistake. That's by design.
Look at that, guys. And a lot of it is, guys, there's people making money off of this, and it's not us. You know what I mean? There's people who they get together and say, "Hey guys, how can we get a whole bunch of taxpayers' money and not have to deliver on anything?" Yeah, that's a great idea. We were right here. Sorry, guys. Oops. Did I do this? Okay.
Me. In Spain, where temperatures hit 42 degrees
Whoa!
Celsius, Bilbao, 2 elderly people have died of heat stroke.
It's 107.6
It was
Fahrenheit.
even worse in the southwest of France. A scorching
110.84 Fahrenheit.
degrees there.
110 degrees with no AC, guys. None.
Oh, that's
no
not too
AC.
bad. That's like a typical man at Winnipeg moment.
Crazy, guys. I've been in Vegas when it was 106. It's dry heat, but it was still hot as balls. You could cook an egg on the sidewalk.
Not so much a city as a furnace, home to 250,000 people either indoors or skulking from the sun. Bordeaux is a major tourist spot where guests should be enjoying world-renowned wines in outdoor cafes. Not in these temperatures.
It isn't just the temperature here, which is extreme at 43 degrees in the middle of the afternoon. It is the fact there have already been 2 days of this. There are several more days to come. It is the second heat wave already this summer, and it's not even the end of June.
The elderly, the homeless, those with unair-conditioned apartments take refuge in cooler buildings provided by the city. Even they are not that cool, but they're something, because these temperatures are dangerous, perhaps even more so than extreme cold.
Et surtout, l'important, c'est la nuit.
Above all, it's what happens at night, the deputy mayor told me.
It
The
is
temperature-
crazy. We are cooking like the frog legs.
Don't forget your snails.
I hate French. Oh, I can't. The language just drives my ears. It's crazy, you guys.
Oh,
It's
you'd love to Quebec, AJ.
it's
You would love Quebec.
worst. Ugh.
is barely falling. That's really bad for the body. It puts a severe strain on people's health.
Encore les 40 degrés, 41 Agen,
12 years ago, France's leading TV channel mocked up an imagined weather forecast for the summer of the year 2050, projecting, warning, just how hot France could become. Red shows extreme heat. This was today's actual weather forecast. Most of the country now under red alert. The future has arrived 24 years early, and it's even worse.
The frequency and the amplitude is directly related to climate change.
Oh, fuck
More
off.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
How much you want to bet, guys, that that he owns stock in these green energy companies, or that his dad or his uncle runs some nonprofit that's supposed to get government money to divvy out to these green energy things, and he's got some money off the top. So
I did hear a reasoning of why this is going on in Europe right now. There's supposed to be like a wind that takes this heat away in Europe, and it's happened all of the time. But so often, this is what I've heard from like a scientist online. So don't quote me on it, but like it's just like it's supposed to push all of the heat out into the ocean, and every like 20-ish years it doesn't happen. There's like a cycle that happens, and then like this is one of the years where it's really bad. And it's I don't know what that reasoning is. Like it's just this is something I've heard from one of the guys I follow on YouTube. Who's actually like a climate scientist who's not a doomer.
Yeah, Anonymous. No, actually, what you're talking about has to do with the algae growth in the ocean. When the algae growth actually starts to get above a certain threshold, I guess it basically acts as a barrier at the surface level of the ocean, so that the deeper levels of the water can't absorb all the heat from the air. So yeah.
Oh, so it must just hang around then, and then there's no for it to go.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Basically, because the algae growth is increasing, the coastal seawater is not able to absorb the heat.
Okay, interesting. So there's always a reason, but no one ever talks about it. They're just like, oh, it's because of us. We're doing it.
In this case, I looked it up. There's something called an omega block of the jet stream that's happening. Basically,
that's it. That's why. Yeah, that's what.
There's
that's
a
what it
kink
is.
in the jet stream that has put a heat dome over the southern part of France. This is something that happens every so often in the DFW area. A few years ago, we had 100 straight days where we were well over 100 degrees, up to 110, which is about 43 degrees Celsius. 43 degrees C is 109 F. So this is weather. This isn't climate. These are things that happen when you have occasional perturbations and things like jet streams.
Yeah, they're cyclical, right? Like it's over time.
Yeah, but also too, a lot of times where these things happen, there was no social media or news to blow this stuff out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? There really wasn't. Like, think about how things that have happened. Okay, all right. Look at Orange Man, right? And all these, how much they cover him and blow and hyperbolically talk about and cover every single thing he does. All presidents have done some crazy stuff. Imagine if JFK was nailing Marilyn Monroe nowadays. It would be all over. Someone would leak a video on TikTok or whatever, or on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So people act like things are so much more worse now because of the coverage it gets. Because there's an economic incentive to make things seem crazy and out of control and terrible and all that other stuff. So,
also one other thing I just want to point out, that a lot of people don't know this. Like, if you pay attention to things like thunderbolts or the electrical universe theory outputs and stuff, and you're going to actually start to find serious scientific evidence for electrical disturbances in space and up in the upper ionosphere that is partially to blame for a lot of the weather and climate that anomalies that are going on. That there's a lot of things of electrical disturbances coming in from the sun that have a major part to play on this, and nobody wants to talk about that. And there's a lot of gag in the physics community about stuff like this.
Yeah, because Matt, those people don't get funded who are actually making sense and trying to say, look, like this, there's a natural a component to this. There's a whole industry based on saying that humans are the cause, and that here, let's make up a problem, or even if we are the cause, a little bit. Let's exaggerate the problem and make up a solution that we can either steal people's tax dollars for, or we can charge people for. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. This is the same, guys. This is the same as like these big pharma, where they'll invent a disease and then say, "Oh, we have a drug," or they'll give you a drug that has the side effects and then give you a drug for the side effects. It's the same thing. That's all it is.
This mainstream doomer slop like has to stop. Like all of this is like driving people literally insane. Like it has to give at some point, because you're just going to have crazy people.
Anonymous, you know more than what you say. A lot of the people that were involved with the whole global warming thing at the very beginning were the same people that were involved with the nuclear winter.
Yeah,
I mean,
facts. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes, the nuclear winter doomers.
Yeah.
After the Cold War ended, moved over to
Trent,
the
the overpopulation doomers. How about them?
Yeah. Oh yeah, from like the 50s, 60s. Yeah.
Yeah. These idiots. That one guy, that one scientist said that Britain's going to be, eating each other in the next 10 years. He said
Soylent Green
in 1970. Guys, and he's been disproven. He's been debunked thousands of times. He got all these awards. Guys, who's in their 40s? I know Colin, Matt.
I'm 41.
I'm 39.
Yeah. So all of us, Wes.
Yes.
How old are you?
62.
Okay, so Trent and Wes are the same age. Everyone else, guys, our entire life, weren't we told that the world is overpopulated, right? We were told the world's overpopulated and we're all cooked, right?
Yeah.
You guys remember that?
This was something that's been around since the late 1960s.
Yeah, my whole life. Guys, we have been in a birth rate decline since the 80s. Since the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Only like India and Africa are actually at replacement rate. But other than that, and maybe like Bangladesh and Sri Lanka,
North Africa is below replacement rate.
Yes.
All right.
Well, guys,
it's only sub-Saharan Africa that is currently above replacement.
There's one country, I love this fact. There's one country in Africa that is above replacement rate, and it's the country of Chad. Literally, it's called the country of Chad.
No, but I think that
That's funny.
China's cooked. I think Japan's cooked. Korea's cooked. Southeast Asia is right on the cusp, obviously, and then Africa's doing pretty decent.
China's messed up,
and then India is doing pretty good too. But the rest of the world's on the decline. It's on the decline. That's just the way that it works. And people have been telling me, I mean, up until what? Recently, that we're overpopulated. It's like, no, we're not. And guys, if there's one thing that human beings are good at, it's adjusting. We're flexible. Guys, even if climate change was as dire, guys, technology, when it becomes profitable to actually fix the climate, we're gonna do it really fast. That's just the way it works. You know what I mean? Like, the human beings need incentive. That's just the way it works. So,
here, guys, remember the guys who used to say, forget about the wars for oil. It's gonna be an issue of the water wars.
Yeah. Anonymous. Oh, where are you from in England?
I'm from South London.
Okay, so because one of the worst things that's been going on, and Anonymous can chime in here, is that the UK has become London centric, economically, socially,
Absolutely.
everything. 53% of the money of the UK goes through London. It's nuts, right?
If you remove London in the UK from the actual statistics on like money, we are like a desolate wasteland.
Yeah.
Like if you remove it, it's crazy.
Yeah. And what happens is that what was in the north, guys, manufacturing, all these other things. So basically, like the north of England is like Detroit. The whole north is like Detroit, except
Decimated.
Yes, and that's where they're putting all the migrants, is in these poor, predominantly English, working class towns.
Manchester, Leeds, Bradford, Hull. I could go on and on.
Yeah, and guys, that's one of the reasons why people hate Tommy Rockwell. I mean TR so much. And Anonymous had explained this once. Oh, hey, Anonymous, can you please explain to Jubilee about Scotland? What you told us about Scotland?
Oh, Scotland, dude! If you remove Scotland from the UK, it would actually be an actual economic benefit to the UK because they don't produce anything. The only thing they produce is like whiskey and deep fried Mars bars. That's the only thing they have.
Hey, they imported that from Texas.
Yeah, and probably heroin. That's probably the only other thing.
Didn't you say the only reason why Scotland's an actual thing is because it's strategic, because they thought that the Russians would come through from the north, so they have bases there, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just what, dude. Scotland is so bad that when the Romans got there, they went through the UK, which is a desolate wasteland anyway, and we were a bunch of savages stabbing each other. And then you go to there, and they're just like, this is not even worth conquering. And they just turn around.
Well, they put up Hadrian's Wall.
Hadrian's Wall, yeah, exactly. To keep out the red-headed barbarians. That's literally what they did. And it's because they were just like, this place is a desolate dump. Right? And I'm, by the way, I'm also half Scottish. So like, I can say this.
That's why. But yeah, the Scottish side of the family.
Yeah, oh God.
A proud Scotsman. Anyways, so guys, what that's done is made the UK 10 times worse, because so many people from the UK have moved to London that it makes them so expensive. But guys, 53% of London is foreign born. Can you imagine, guys, if Washington, D.C., 1 in 2 people was not American?
Have you
That's
actually
insane.
looked at the statistics? I mean, D.C. is in Northern Virginia is very heavily foreign. This is why one of the big reasons why Virginia has flipped from a purple to deep blue.
It says 7.4% of DC's population aren't citizens, and then 14.1% total are either foreign-born or naturalized. The issue is in Northern Virginia, where you see like Arlington and Alexandria, there's so many people there as compared to the rest of the state, and there's people who move there from other. It's not foreign born, because a lot of foreign born people are actually conservatives, Asians who come here from China and all this other stuff. Because remember,
Asians that come from China that go to California vote liberal because that's the way their neighbors vote. A lot of the stuff that you hear about Asians being more conservative doesn't follow through in the rest of politics. It may be they are conservative socially, but the policies they vote for tend to be whatever it is that the majority population does. I mean, that's a big reason why Asians are so heavily represented in the California Democratic Party.
Well, I can still say that Arlington and Alexandria and Manassas, like I said, people moved there from other parts, the West Coast or whatever, and those areas have grown so much that it did flip Virginia to where they elected that communist governor of theirs, who's one of the worst politicians that has ever walked the planet Earth. And guys, they voted her in because she's like, oh, I'm more moderate, right? And then the first day she got sworn in, she signed 32 new taxes in, and these idiots finally realized
You've been had, you've been took, you've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
And I don't feel bad for them, guys.
Hey, AJ, I just asked an AI. They're saying, did you say 28% of Northern Virginia is foreign-born? Because that's what it just told me.
I said DC.
All right. So
not
what
Northern
does
Virginia.
DC?
Yeah. So, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, guys, the fastest way to turn a liberal to a conservative is give them what they voted for.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
I was going to say have them get robbed, but that's the same thing.
The same thing. Oh!
By the way, DC said 15.5% of the AI just asked. So
yeah, 1% off. Margin of error
in the rest of the country. But it also accounts for.
There you go. Look at this, guys.
This video was brought to you by Ground News. The UK has some of the worst regional inequality anywhere in the developed world. Not only is the Southeast significantly richer than the rest of the country, but it also accounts for an outsized fraction of the UK's overall GDP.
Look at this. Look at that.
Look at this.
The ecosystem is all the money that's counted.
Yeah.
Everyone in the bottom third works for the government.
Yeah.
Everyone else has nothing.
And guys, here's the thing too. Because of this, the economy down here has become a lot more what's it called? Service industry. You know what I'm saying? So people are waiters and drivers and all this other stuff and not actually producing things. You know what I mean?
Low-end skill jobs.
Thank you. Yes, yep.
And few economies are as singularly reliant on a single city as the UK is on London. What makes this predicament particularly acute, however, is that the UK's over-reliance on London seems to be getting worse, not better, with the capital also accounting for an ever-increasing share of well-paid jobs. So in this video, we're going to take another look at the UK's London problem, how it's creating a sort of jobs crisis, and why this presents Labour with a difficult dilemma. So let's start with a bit of context. As we mentioned in previous videos, regional inequality has been a long-standing problem for the UK, with London and the surrounding areas in the southeast being way richer than the rest of the country. Well, the gap has actually closed slightly in the past decade or so.
Isn't it funny though that they're saying that there's more money, that it's richer, but guys, you're trying to tell me that the average minimum wage worker, whatever, might make more, 20 cents more an hour, but look at how much more expensive that is to live in London. So it's like really,
those people are sleeping in like someone's cupboard.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what's happening in London. Like I used to, when I lived in London, man, even when all those years ago I lived there were like houses that had like, I'm not joking, had like 20 to 25 like Indian guys living in them.
Damn.
They just used to have like bunk beds in like the living room.
Yeah.
Like it's the slumlord problem in London is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, hey, New York's the same way.
Oh yeah.
It's so bad though because of the rent control that it's, if you owned an apartment, anonymous, and it's actually cheaper for you to leave it vacant than to try and put a tenant in it, especially if it's old, because then you have to do renovations and you couldn't raise the rent to make the money back.
Oh, so socialism at work then. There we go. I mean, that's obviously what's going on.
Facts. And guys, the two best examples of of socialist policies. I mean, okay, so Minneapolis and St. Paul. Minneapolis did the whole rent control and tried and regulated heavily how much new properties that you can build. St. Paul didn't, and now Minneapolis has a huge housing crisis, and St. Paul doesn't.
So this is the thing, AJ. It's like, why can't I decide as a autonomous person to live in a shithole and save money? This is literally what I do right now. My apartment is a dump, right? But my rent is so cheap that I don't care, and I put all of my money in stocks and all these kind of things. Why can't I decide? Why does the government have to step in and say, no, you can't do that?
Because we're so litigious now. The United States, we sue each other for everything.
It's ridiculous, man. I should be able to decide whether I want to live in a death trap and save a bunch of money.
Yes.
It's not up to the government to say what I think's acceptable.
But here's the thing, though. People will move into a death trap and then sue you and take your property from you. They'll
good point, but yeah.
On the dotted line and say, and even say, I won't sue you, then they'll find a way to do it. I'm telling you, that's one of the worst things about America. You can sue for stuff, but then again, you can sue for stuff, you know? So, but yeah, guys, so the UK is cooked. I mean, we're at the 3-hour and 19-minute mark. We're over time. But yeah, guys, Canada and the UK are where everything that we hyperbolically say about the United States, Canada, and the UK is. Seriously. Guys, so we talk about not having freedoms and the migrants and guys, compared to the UK, I would say, the UK is way, way, way worse. But Canada's speed running, it's way there. Okay? And the government just doesn't care. There's I've never seen such a huge divide with the people and its government as I see with the UK and its citizens and Canada and its citizens.
Canada is such a weird anomaly when it comes to this kind of stuff. It's like in the UK, everyone knows. All of the regular people know what's going on. It's like that's the reason why in the UK right now we literally have a zombie government. That's like they're just
guys. Hold on, guys. In the chat, I've let it slide. But guys, the religions, guys, please change the letter. Guys, when you talk about small hats or the people from sandy areas, guys, please put different terminology. You know what I'm saying? Or guys, put a 3 in front of the J. Put an
say gem. Say GEM.
I don't want the stream taken down, guys. I've let it slide, but guys, I will keep talking about topics like this, but I need you guys to cooperate in the chat. So I haven't had the mods do anything yet, but guys, please, in the future, guys, please code your language. Very important. All right, guys.
YouTube is a very fetal mistress. Do not just use the word gem.
Yeah, and guys, certainly, please don't type the cough name, guys. Please.
Yeah.
Please, guys. Oh,
put coof.
Put cough. Because guys, once again, I haven't gotten a strike on this channel in like 2 years. Just I think we found the perfect balance to be able to talk about crazy stuff and not get the channel nuked. All right, but guys, now,
use euphemisms like sand people.
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah.
So, so guys, if Knucklehead Harris would have got in, I think that we would be well on our way to Canada.
Oh, dude,
Seriously.
You would have been speed running.
We would have been cooked. Yeah.
She is
guys,
like a useful idiot.
Yeah, the fact that Orange Man got the popular vote really, 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 really shows that people weren't having it. They just weren't. They weren't having this foolishness anymore. They just weren't.
That's actually, dude, that's divine. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, in my opinion, like with Trump and everything, like he's done some bad stuff, you know, like he's not perfect, but like that whole thing with like him getting into power for a second term, that's just like an act of God, man.
Anonymous. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. Harris was the 20 million people that came in. All right, that's what killed. That's what caused the housing price spikes. That's what caused most inflation. That is what destroyed the whole narrative about leftism in the USA.
Oh yeah, Sleepy Joe, wasn't it? Like, I mean, it's obvious what that calls it.
But Trent, do you know why why the left didn't hold a primary and why they had to have her run?
It was all about money. They couldn't. The money that Joe had.
Yep.
I completely forgot about that. They didn't hold a primary.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Trent, you are the man.
You know,
do you know how many people don't know that? Do you know how many people do not know that almost wasn't $1 billion that they raised? Whatever. It was for a Biden-Harris ticket of some kind. If they hadn't run her, they would have had to give all.
They had to give the money back.
And a lot of the money came from foreigners.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And guys, you can say what you want. This is not conspiracy theory. This is absolute facts. And this is on the record. And guys, what? There's a guy. I'll drop him in the Discord. He shows compilations of all these idiots on election night who were so sure that Knucklehead Harris would win, and how they go from like cocky to completely crushed. And on election night, guys, every single major news outlet other than Fox News was sure that Knucklehead Harris would win.
It was beautiful, man. It was beautiful.
YouTubers and all this, and the fact that they got it so wrong to this day shows how disconnected that the mainstream media and everyone is with the people on the ground.
I still go back and watch the Young Turks coverage of it, and it's like the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You want to know the reason why they were all surprised? Because when they went from Sleepy Joe to Harris, the Chinese didn't have enough time to get all the cheating stuff into the states. They couldn't change all the ballots fast enough.
That is true. Like I did hear there was a bunch of ballot fiddling going on with a lot
there had to be enough time to do things.
But here's the thing,
and when they did the change, there wasn't.
But even if there, and that makes my case even more, because let's just say that there was some meddling. The fact that it still went the way it did, she got completely trounced. She got completely destroyed. And there's articles being put out trying to downplay the whooping that this chick got. She lost every single swing state.
Decimated,
she got destroyed. Guys. They're like, well, it wasn't as bad. Yes, it was.
That was exterminatus, how bad that was.
It was horrible, guys. And
the Democrats didn't know the margin of cheat because of how many people were utterly hacked off over illegal immigration and showed up and voted over it.
Yep, it's true.
And also the people who were bitter over the cop path and everything. Like there was so many.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. I can tell you this much. This is the number one thing that you can say is this. What, piggybacking on what Trent said. When people asked Orange Man about immigration and the economy and stuff, what did he have? Answers. He's had substance. Whether you agreed with it or not, he said something. The Democrats still, to this day, have nothing. We aren't Orange Man bad. It's like, okay, wait a minute. So what Orange Man's doing about immigration is bad. What are you guys gonna do?
Yeah, what's your policy?
Orange Man bad. No, okay, I get that. Fine. What are you gonna do about Palestine? No, wait. No, hold on. Orange Man bad. Okay, what are you gonna do about the economy? transformerism. Like that, we don't know. That's you have to counter with something.
Are we deporting everyone or giving an amnesty?
Yeah.
Pick one. There's only two options.
It just doesn't make any
the
sense.
Democratic answer to illegal immigration is amnesty and more illegal immigration.
No, not even that. They just said orange man bad.
Actually, they do say amnesty because they get paid by a lot of people, by the big businesses to do it.
They just want, again, these people
getting cheap labor.
Yeah,
it's the same in the UK where they just want literally a underclass of people. To me, I always say it's the new slavery, is what it is. It's like they just want an underclass of people who get paid under the table to work in these like other businesses. I don't know if like Amazon or someone like that uses these services.
The idea of a permanent underclass and a small middle class that pays for everything, while people at the top are rent seekers that get money from everybody. That's what you're seeing. All right.
Yeah, and I've got nothing against rich people if they make their money legitimately. I love rich people who make their money legitimately. It's amazing. Good for them.
The problem is a lot of these corporate people are all about, sending the manufacturing to China and bringing in foreigners to do jobs at confiscatory wages because they don't want to pay a living wage to their locals.
Yeah.
I mean, it is all. I want everyone to be clients on welfare, and vote for me because I'm giving welfare to outnumber the people.
Yeah, that whole welfare thing is crazy. Like I heard, what is it? You know, AJ, where there's like the black fatigue thing going on.
Yeah.
I heard the best thing about white people, like white trash people, where they call it Goyim fatigue. And I was like, okay, I can get behind that. I don't like a bunch of like stupid white people just like sucking off the teat of the government either.
Yeah,
and it's really annoying.
Yeah, well, I say this all the time. Every group has their trash, right? Sorry, it's just the way it works. Has their trash. People, but us blacks are the only ones who rally around and protect ours, and will march and put up statues for ours. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, guys, once again, I am black, but I don't owe the black community a damn thing. Guys, you guys are my community. You know what I'm saying? You won't see me at any BLM march or any of that foolishness because it's all just complete idiocy. But all right, guys, I'll shut this down. Guys, we will be live tomorrow at 5 p.m. as usual. Guys, Locke and I will probably do another podcast, not this Friday, but the next Friday. Guys, if you have any topics that you want us to cover, you either put it in the requests or email me, and Anonymous, real fast. What do you think that they can do to fix the UK? Like, is there hope?
I think that I'm actually quite white-pilled on this, because I think, honestly, guys, like English people are not going to go without a fight. We're not going to go without. We will literally. I'm not joking, man. Like the regular English people, like we don't, because of the way our country is, they do not prioritize regular people from actually speaking. Right? They hate regular people speaking their minds, and most regular people are based, and we are. So what's going to happen, in my opinion, is that we are going to have some sort of. Americans always go on about a civil war. I literally think that's what's going to happen in the UK, where the government will refuse to do anything unless it's Rupert Lowe. He's the only person who will actually do anything about it. If it's anyone else but him, you are literally going to see war on the street between the Islamists and regular English people, because these Islamists they're not just going to leave. They're not just going to be like, oh yeah, we're going to be sent home now. They're there to conquer. They're there to take over and make England into Islamstan.
Anonymous, I
It's
saw
crazy.
this well over a year ago. Everything you're saying, all the tides and portents were there a year ago, showing up, and it's like it's just a matter of time. We're just waiting for it to happen, and the gust front of it was what happened just recently here in Northern Ireland. Over to you.
They're literally saying it. Like, if you actually listen to these imams, because I listen to them, like I actually go on their YouTube channels, I listen to what they say. That is what they're saying. Just listen to them. They're giving you exactly what they want to do. But for some reason, the UK government doesn't have YouTube connection for some reason. I don't know why. Like, it's there as clear as day, or they agree with it.
Their ruling ideology is such that if they acknowledge it, they're going to be out of power. And they would rather be in power one more second than do anything else. I mean, that's just the way people in power are.
Well, they're going to be in a gulag if they're not careful. So it's going to happen with them.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. A lot of Brits are not content. That's just the thing. It's the working class in the North. You have the people who are in the South who are just working and trying to scrape by, and then you have the good chunk of the North, Scotland, Wales, that are not happy. Northern Ireland are not happy at all. There's just this big power divide between the people and their government. It's very strange. Like, I see what
Darklin's saying. It's just like it's this. Like we said in the stream, right? It's this London-centric eye. It's like the eye of Sauron, right? It's always on London. You go outside of London, everybody hates what's going on.
Yeah,
they hate it. It's like when I hear someone like my mum talking about these, and my mum's the most boomer you could ever envision, and she's even talking about this. So God knows what her other friends are saying.
Understand that the British police and the British government are extraordinarily isolated now from old long-term British residents. All right. The Northern Irish government, the British internal security, everybody was completely and utterly blind as to what was about to happen in Northern Ireland. And if you don't think they they're blinder now than what's going on in Northern England than they were in Northern Ireland. I mean, how to put it? The only thing that they are paying attention to is Rupert Lowe. And
literally, yeah.
They aren't paying attention to anything else. So, either they allow it to happen, the change to happen peacefully, or they make sure it happens forcefully. I mean, those that make peaceful change impossible make violent change inevitable.
Well, this is what I've said. I said this is in the UK, this is the last attempt from people who are reasonable. This is the last reasonable people. Rupert Lowe is the last reasonable person that you're going to get. After this, you are going to have anarchy. You are going to have literal, very, very bad people coming out of the woodworks.
I can tell you this, though, guys. There's one thing that Americans are is reactionary, right? All Americans need is a reason to react. We just need a reason. Give us a reason, And the craziest thing is that the Brits don't have that.
It's your frontier. It's you guys. This is the thing. It's your frontier attitude. That, a lot of Americans have, and it's like
you tell us to do something. The opposite. You can't tell us what to do. That's just the way the United States.
Well, it's like it was in one movie I loved where it's like America was built on "fuck you."
Yeah,
and I agree with that absolutely. They just told an entire country to F off.
I tell you guys, one of my favorite movies of all time. Hold on. Here you go. Let me share my screen.
Not Dirty Harry.
Let's go.
Oh, dude, falling down. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's see falling down, dude. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
When you push a man too far.
One of the greatest movies of all time, dude. One of the greatest movies of all time. And one of the worst parts of this whole thing is everyone's like, oh, he's just evil white man. That's how crazy that people have gotten nowadays. Is they can't even. This guy represents all of us.
He was a patriot wage slave who went through his entire career doing what he thought was right, and then they just discarded him like he was nothing. And like the city is a desolate, dystopian wasteland.
This could be anybody, and instead of seeing themselves and him, these people, they always see is race and gender, race and sex. It's crazy, guys.
Buddy, that's my
why.
life right there. That's my life right there. And then they
Yeah.
took my guns.
Well, that scene where he's like sitting on that like piece of crap like stoop
Yeah.
or whatever it is, and like these like Mexican guys go over there and try and intimidate him.
Yeah.
And
he's
instead
up
of
in
just
that-
being like those Mexican guys, they're just being like, "Oh, we lost this like fight," right?
Yeah.
They go out there and their hubris is just like they want to go out and like get this like nobody because they disrespected him and they paid the ultimate cost for it.
Yeah, but
It's
you guys
amazing.
remember at the end, he's like, "I'm the bad guy." You remember? Like,
Yeah,
he didn't even realize he's like, "I'm the bad guy," you know. So, but all right, guys, I'll shut this down. I appreciate you guys. We'll be live tomorrow. As
AJ,
usual. What's up?
AJ, quick question. Does it on YouTube, Filmion, or anybody, is it the more views you get on a video, does that help you? Is that beneficial?
Oh yeah. It's the algorithm. It's like how many views you get, like and like how many likes. You know, like basically interaction with your video.
Yeah.
Okay,
Give
so
your
like,
video, like and drop a comment. That always helps the most. So
okay, I mean, if I watch a video several times, does that help?
yeah, that helps a lot. Views
okay.
count.
Oh yeah.
Views. Yeah.
Okay,
you
Guys,
can
I
only-
wasn't sure about that. Okay.
There's one thing that people don't understand, and Pearly Things just made a video about this. Guys, subscribers don't really matter as much anymore because people are getting subs off of short form content, meaning you'll have a short go viral and get like 7 million views, and you'll have like 100,000 subs and no one's watching your content. You know what I'm saying? So like you don't want to have it. Okay. Okay. I have 31,000 subs and I could have anywhere from 100 to 200 to 300 people watching my streams, right? I think that the most we've had was 540 people watching at once. The other day we had 170, 200 people on. I can make a random live at any time and have like almost 100 people on, right? There are channels that got big through like shorter form stuff, and they have like three people watching. Or like I can put out a video, it'll get like, I have 31,000 subs, it'll get 2,200 views, which is pretty good because you get paid for every thousand views, right? You should be getting, 10% of your audience automatically watching your videos. So anywhere from like 8 to 10%. So I have 38,000 subs. 2,200 views to 3,500 views is good. I can put out slop and get that, right? Then you have those that have like, you can tell that they got their subs off of shorts. They'll have like 80,000 subs and they're getting 500 views per video, 200 views per video.
It's a TikTok brain.
Yes.
Yeah, it's TikTok brain. People who can't.
You don't want that kind of engagement. You want people who will sit down and watch your videos.
People who are intelligent enough to interact with an actual topic.
Yes, because those people once you get sponsors, once you get engagement helps the algorithm, right? If someone watches your videos for 3, 4, 5 minutes, YouTube wants to push more people over to your channel. And you'll see there's a guy, Cool Vic. He does a lot of reactions to Andrew Wilson. He has like 23,000 subs, but he regularly has 200 or 300 people watching his streams.
Yeah, longer
really,
form.
really good. Yeah, which is really
Longer
really
form
good. So,
content gets you pushed more in the algorithm than the shorts.
yeah. So, but the whole TikTok brain, that's not good for your channel because those aren't real. Okay, you guys remember you used to buy an album to listen to the whole thing back in the day, bands would actually write an album like it was a story, so you'd listen to the whole album straight. But what happened was they started releasing singles, right? And then which kind of messed stuff up. But then, because they would play singles on the radio, and then you could buy it. But the whole point was the singles to actually bring the album. Now they do streaming, where they stream the single and then no one buys the album. So
yeah,
now,
they just load it on YouTube or something.
Yes, and also too, it's been shown that music has been dumbed down the last 20 years to fit social media. They have bands make music where you hear it for 5 minutes on TikTok, and I'll go listen to that. That's fine, but that doesn't mean that they're going to go listen to the rest of the album.
Yeah,
So
now you
music-
get low quality stuff.
Yeah,
AJ,
music is
go
trash.
on to YouTube for a second and just go and look up this band. What's called Gangsta Rap, and you can see just how low music has gotten.
I would say
That's the thing, just slop.
Yeah, most new music is just absolute trash. Sorry, it just is. And this isn't the old curmudgeon. I mean, it literally, like, you can look at studies showing that music is garbage now. It just is. It's for
Very rare a
unintelligent
good
morons.
thing comes out. It's very rare.
Yeah, and here's the thing: you can say what you want about for instance, Taylor Swift, right? At least she writes her own music and plays instruments. I don't listen to her, you know. But here's the thing: I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan. You guys know why? You know why? Because you guys remember this. Watch. Okay. Taylor Swift is with Travis Kelce, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at that.
Do you guys remember Travis Kelce's girlfriend, that B-Dub?
No.
So this chick here, he used to be with this chick, and he broke up with her because she was one of those chicks who, here she is married to, with a football player making millions, and she was thinking that somehow she's better than him, right? And all these B-Dubs, because anytime that a black guy dates outside his race, right, all hell breaks loose. All these B-Dubs are all mad, right? All of a sudden, it's
I'ma kill your bitch ass, bitch.
But then the moment that a black chick gets a white guy, all of a sudden they're all doing backflips.
Yeah.
So they were the poster child couple for ha, us B-Dubs can get rich white men and blah, 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 blah. Well, then he drop kicked this broad for Taylor Swift.
Just dumped her ass.
Yeah. And now every time Taylor Swift comes out with anything, there's B-Dubs losing their goddamn minds over this. I have coworkers who are B-Dubs that are like, and Travis Kelce's ex, her whole persona now is hating on Taylor Swift. Her whole thing is like, oh, he wasn't man enough for me, so he had to go get Taylor Swift. First of all, she's better looking than you are, right? Second of all, isn't it crazy that Taylor Swift is a billionaire? And yet so she earns more than Travis Kelce.
Yeah, she's probably richer than he is.
Yeah, she's a billionaire with a B, a billionaire. And somehow she shuts up and lets him be the man. Guys, they've never seen them arguing in public, right? She's always doing the ladylike thing, all that. When they have seen Travis Kelce arguing with that black chick in public, she was throwing stuff at him, acting stupid. Why is it that a chick that's more accomplished than these B-Dubs will ever be can somehow find a way to shut up in a relationship?
Well, she's just hooding out, right? Like she's just doing stupid shenanigans.
Yeah. So, guys, I am rooting for Taylor Swift because every time that something is announced with her and Travis Kelce, like B-Dubs around the United States are just losing their shit. And anything that pisses off B-Dubs is a good thing to me, dude.
Cry harder.
It's so
I love
good.
it. Please.
It's so good.
I mine that
Fly your
shit.
free
Love it.
flags well.
Huh?
I say you fly your freak flags very well.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm petty, man.
Mine that salt.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
So
Delicious.
good, dude. Even so, like when he won the Super Bowl, she was there. Go, you guys, just put on TikTok Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and look at the amount of B-dubs losing their minds on TikTok. It's so bad that like his ex was dressed up as Toni Braxton last Halloween and singing her song "He Wasn't Man Enough for Me." It's like, you guys broke up 2 years ago.
Get
You
over
broke up
it,
2
man.
years ago, and you're still on this guy, and all of it is because he left her for a white chick.
And you know what?
Crazy exes are crazy exes.
Yeah. Yep.
And you know what? Maybe he wouldn't have left you if you weren't so just awful, just an awful person. Like if you'd have like done what you're supposed to do and do your feminine duty and be just like pleasant to be around. He's the guy's probably literally a millionaire. What have you got to worry about?
But here's the thing that drives me nuts. She's with a guy that's this B-dub, right? Because I don't even know what she does on Travis. She's probably some Instagram chick. She's with or was with a guy who's the equivalent of a baron or a duke back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Are you serious?
He's that rich. He's that rich. He's worth millions, and millions, right? And she's treating him like crap. Like, who are you? Here's an article. Look at this. Look at this, guys. I don't know how much Taylor Swift right now, but look, a pathetic and desperate Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend Kayla Nicole goes viral just before their Madison Square Garden wedding. Look at that.
But she's a black queen.
Yeah. Look at her.
Amazing.
Look at that.
She's hot. Like, I'm not going to say that. Like, she's a good-looking girl.
So she put out a video basically saying like, "Oh, see, whatever, da. First person says, "I just want Kayla Nicole to go away. I'm not a huge fan of Taylor Swift, but enough is enough. I myself was up and down with the relationship. I was questioning, but now she looks like a loser every single time she's still talking about Travis Kelce. She has to move on."
Brutal.
Guys, women, man, they just can't handle it. They can't handle it.
Nothing like a woman scorn, man. Like, they hold on a grudge forever.
The best thing that you can do, guys, is move on and live better than them. They can't stand it, guys. Guys, Trent, Wes, Matt, Anonymous, all of us are up there. All you young guys, listen to us. Every single chick that broke up with us, that curbed us, that disrespected us, they always come back at some point. Every single chick from college or whatever has hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. "Hey, how you doing, AJ? So, are you single?" It's like, wait,
a bad penny always comes around. Always comes back.
Sometimes ex-wives try to do that.
Oh yeah,
That's
just like a boomerang. Can't get rid of them.
You know what?
Can't get rid of it.
I have to admit something here. That has never happened to me.
Oh really? Okay.
I'm 41 years old, and that has never happened to me.
Yeah, but are you easy to get a hold of? Are you on Facebook or any
No,
of that?
I have never
There you
been on
go.
Facebook.
So you're not easy to get a hold of. That's why.
That's it. Yeah.
Look,
My
look,
phone
look.
number and everything that they have, it's never changed.
Look. When Matt breaks up with them, he says,
Who is this guy?
I don't know.
Just smoke bombing these bitches.
They're never finding him again. He's out of there, dude. But all right, you guys. I gotta head out.
All right,
But
see you
thanks,
guys.
guys. I appreciate you.
Yep.
Bye, guys. Take it easy.